So what are we doing?
I'm just
for?
laughing here now. I'm not nervous.
It's
Not
fine.
at all.
It's okay to be nervous.
Yes. Yes.
Please be nervous.
Be
I am.
nervous.
I am.
This is so common. I don't even care. Then I listen to it. Then I cringe. But
Okay.
Always.
it's like we're so good. And then you listen and you're like, we're not that good.
We're never that good.
We're never that good. Even on the episodes where I feel that we're doing good, and then you listen, you're like,
But that's been every episode.
I
like
know.
when we leave this
Yeah.
room, we're like, "Fuck, that was so good! Yeah, that felt great, awesome! Yeah, yeah."
no, but one was good. I
Yeah,
really
one.
enjoyed it. Like
One was
out
good,
of the
yes.
new ones, one was good. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but
Okay.
We've made 70 episodes.
no, but I mean like the recent ones, the
yeah,
restart
yeah.
of the show. Anything else before we get started?
The more we ask this, the worse
the
it
worse
gets.
it gets.
Worse
Okay,
it
cool.
gets.
Are you ready?
Never ever ready. That is the
thing.
That's the key.
Key to
That's
success.
the secret.
All right. Welcome back to the 70s. What episode is this?
71st. 7-1.
Okay. Welcome to the big 7-1.
Boom, boom.
With
It's probably
Okay.
70. I don't know.
I don't know. No. Wait.
70 was last one. Yeah, this is 71.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yes.
this is 71. Cool.
So very special.
Okay. So welcome back to the Sketchbook Heroes podcast with me, Elias.
Me, Robert.
And Cina Tornqvist.
Way! Nailed it.
In collaboration with 21 Draw, that brings you like awesome masterclasses for upping your art, like getting some new artistic superpowers.
But also a lot of cool books, a lot of cool deck of cards that we have the one of. I don't know. Chris, have you made any more? Answer me, damn it. Come here.
And there's a new book coming out with on character design that you all should be checking out.
I've seen just a few pages. It looks
Yeah.
amazing.
And the PDFs I think have been sent to the
Yeah,
backers,
yeah.
but it'll be out for sale in a bit. I don't know exactly when.
In a bit.
A bit. Because that's how certain we are. So check out 21-draw.com.
Yes, also Instagram, 21draw. Whoop, 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 whoop. And up and away. Yeah, let's fuck all this. Let's
All
do
that-
some music and all that stuff, and then we can start talking again.
Artists of the world unite. Step out of your comfort zone into the danger zone.
They loved 80s cartoons. Even with beards and tattoos, you know they haven't changed at all. Filling sketchbooks every night, getting better with each line. Sketchbook hero, imagination burning. Sketchbook hero, sketchbook hero, pick up the sketchbook hero. They don't seem to have any line.
And we're back. And we have Cina Karina with us today.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Who are you?
Well,
are you?
I'm an urban sketcher, and well, I'm here from Sweden, from Malmö, and I'm a comic book editor.
She's my comic book editor.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And she's also an amazing person and very happy and just inspiring. So
thank
welcome so much. I'm so happy we could finally have you in the pod. We've talked about it back and forth for I don't know how long now.
No, we met at Comic-Con when we were dressed as Spider-Man and
Yes.
Deadpool.
Spidey Pool.
Yeah, 2 years
Spideypool.
ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Is it just 2 years ago? It's more.
It's a little bit more than 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
because that was
September.
exactly.
Yeah, 2 and a
Yeah,
half.
that's true. That.
Yeah. But because I was still here. I wasn't in Australia.
Yeah. And that was awesome.
Yeah, and you drew us.
No, that was awesome. That you drew us was awesome. We were just fucking idiots. Well, we were just us.
I was like, what has changed? Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. But that was so impressive because we had no idea. We were stuck in the whole being Spidey Pool thing, and everybody wanted to take pictures. And then all of a sudden, Cina just comes in from nowhere with a like full-blown watercolor sketch of
Mm-hmm.
us in the environment that we were standing in.
We stood there for 40 minutes, I remember, because I
Yeah.
wanted to get away.
Yeah.
But because
Every kid were just like,
that's what happens. Don't spend too much on your suit. If it's awesome, people will like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you can never move ever
You can
again.
never ever get to where you're going.
But so that was our introduction to you, and it was like out of this world awesome. So yeah, it's kind of cool having you as a guest here now, and it's I don't know, it feels like I've known you forever, but it's
Yeah.
we've only met
Yeah,
like
the
2 or 3
same.
times.
Because I mean that was when I started to listen to the podcast, and since then it's like, oh yeah, I know these guys.
It's so cool,
Yeah.
and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Not just being
Really
here.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Super fun.
So now we have 2 fans. Awesome.
Yay.
All
Or
right.
2
Yeah.
listeners, I mean, no fans.
We don't have fans. We
I
just
mean
have
3
two
listeners. Me, Elias, and now Cina.
And yay! Now you can also upvote them. No, just kidding. So,
All right.
how did you start your artistic journey?
Yeah, well, I've been sketching since I was a kid. I mean, all the time, and mostly. I mean, and at school it was like just sketching, filling every notebook with sketches. So yeah, pretty much like you too, I suppose.
Yeah.
Pretty much like everybody.
Like, it
I
wasn't
know.
just in the notebooks. We were also
Yeah.
drawing in the math book and like every book.
Every page.
Like, oh,
in
white
every-
space.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
a lot of white
Yeah.
space. You just like fill it with something.
Yeah.
So I wonder if, you used to pass those on, some of those books. I wonder if like people got those books with our drawings in them. Like,
Yeah.
for generation.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's pretty cool.
I think I sketched mostly in just
the
normal
desk.
graphite or
Back then?
lead.
Or
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
had to erase it.
So
like
I'm guessing somebody erased it or them. I
Is
don't
that a
think they
job,
just-
like a full-time job that the school system's like,
Well, not
we
anymore.
need an eraser?
Because now I don't have any more libraries in fucking schools. I think they're removing most libraries from
What?
everywhere almost.
Cool.
Everything's digital now, so that's horrible. Yeah, that's me just bringing down the mood
The
a bit.
mood.
We were a little bit too happy before. It's just ruined everybody's future. Yes. But
Yeah, did you study art though? Like, did you go to an art school? Did you pursue that venue, or did you do something else?
actually, yeah. Well, actually, I wanted to go to art school after upper secondary.
or something.
But actually, I was advised that okay, that's no future. Just decide something else.
Yeah.
so what did you decide?
So actually, I went to technical chemistry.
Wow.
Totally not my thing. So
All those jobs,
All
the
those
chemistry
jobs.
jobs. Yeah.
no, but that was at high school,
Yeah.
and totally failed. So
Well, at least you learned how to make meth.
yes,
That was the chemistry 101.
That's always
Let's start with
the
math,
fail
kids.
safe. You know,
Yeah,
when all
exactly.
else fails, you can
no,
always
but
count
but
on
actually. Wanting to just okay, I just have to do this, so I just needed to finish. So, but after that, I started to work in a flower shop, and then it was like getting art class at nights, and actually a full year, not in like university or anything, but just
Whatever
yeah,
courses
whatever,
you could
yeah,
find.
whatever.
Yeah.
meth. Okay.
So and then I became a graphic designer and illustrator. So I mean, it was a long way around,
Yeah, exactly.
but I got there anyway. So
So do you actually have a design degree, or
No.
was it? Okay, good,
no,
good. Because I was
I
like, how
don't.
the fuck did you fit that into
No.
everything?
no, I don't.
Um,
Actually, I just been a bit lucky. So well, I started working with magazines on agricultural stuff,
The fun stuff.
the fun stuff.
Agriculture venom.
Who doesn't love
Like-
farmers?
Like tractors and horses
Nice.
and cows.
Very
and
nice.
Yeah. But actually, I was allowed to illustrate some covers and some articles inside the magazines where they didn't have pictures that could show them what they were writing about. So that was a step into the business.
Was the brief like make this text fun? Just like
something like that.
Yeah. The Tractor X4000 now has.
Actually, I was sketching some beetles that are resistant to this chemic.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
pesticides.
Pesticides. Oh, thank you. Never used that word in English.
No.
I realize. Okay, so anyway, I thought it was pretty funny, but the farmers were a bit offended.
Really?
Yeah, they were offended, but I thought it was funny. But
How could they get offended by that?
yeah,
They can't even afford magazines. No, just
Exactly.
Just
Can they even read? No.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, she drew a picture. Yeah.
And actually-
all right.
and actually, I
Sorry,
was
next.
making illustrations about marking pigs with tattooing.
Oh
them,
yeah.
for safety and so on. So I was making a tattooed
Pig.
pig
Oh, cool.
very
with a
nice.
barcode on it.
That's awesome. Do you still have those drawings?
I think so, somewhere.
Nice. You should definitely repost them
Yeah,
because
okay.
I want to see them.
Yeah, okay. But the quality was like,
That doesn't matter.
that doesn't matter.
No,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's awesome.
but it was cool.
So, why we have you here is because you are into something called urban sketching,
Yeah.
and obviously we're going to dive a lot into that. I think that's going to be maybe the main topic of today.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to know where that came from and how you discovered it, really.
Yeah.
When did that start? Did you do that like by yourself at first and then realize there was more people doing it, or which?
No, actually, two of my colleagues and I are in the same group, but we've been discussing it like 6 or 7 years ago, and just that would it be fun just to sketch outside, and then we okay, but really didn't, and suddenly we saw an article about someone who wanted to start this, and we were okay, we're on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's badass.
So I think I've been in the Malmö group since the start. So I think that was 5 years ago.
Mhm.
Okay.
4 or 5 years ago.
All
Yeah.
right. So it's still pretty new then, I mean, in your world.
Yeah,
relatively
definitely. Yeah. But then I realized, I mean, I've been doing it
Forever.
on my own forever. Maybe not forever, but I mean, I've been doing it.
Yeah.
But it's still something different because before I was sketching things in my head, from my head, just imagination.
Yeah.
But this is here on site and just doing whatever you got in front of you. So that's quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of when I met you, like I think it was sometime like earlier this year, or was it last year that we met at a coffee shop?
Yeah, last year, like
was
exactly 1 year ago.
Shit,
Exactly
really?
1 year ago.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, felt like it was like a year ago, about
Yeah.
a year ago. Yeah, because we talked about like urban sketching and like drawing what is in front of you, and then
Yeah.
you gave me like a lot of tips about just draw the things that are necessary. So
Yeah.
you can skip a lot of stuff that is because like there's so much noise.
Yeah, it's
So you have
clutter.
to exactly. So you have to choose sort of what makes the scene, and I really like that idea because that's what I do without thinking about it.
Yeah.
But just getting someone to say it was very nice. Just like it confirms the rule somehow. You know, like it's not a rule, but it's a good thing to keep in mind.
Maybe just helps you think about it too.
I think so. It takes away some of the pressures of having to like make everything perfect and get every
Yeah.
detail, or you're
Yeah.
spending too much time on stuff that doesn't give you that feeling. Because when I look at your work, and you guys should also pause this and just go in and check you don't actually have to pause it. This is audio. But you should check out Kina's work because you'll see that it really has the feeling, like she captures that feeling of the thing that she's drawing.
The pulse. Also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's like a flow to it. There's a feeling, that the colors and everything, the mood. It's perfect. Like you really feel that you're there. But
Yeah.
then if you start comparing, like, oh, that's not there, that table is missing. You know, like but it still has that essence.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
You-
Yeah, it's more like telling a story and
Mhm.
what's important. I mean, what do I want to what is it I want to tell with this picture? So yeah.
Hmm?
And I love that you always add like, or not always, but most of the time add like the logo of the place or like a sign or a little
Yeah.
detail from the place you're sitting and drawing at.
Yeah.
Or like when you were here and you added the Sketchbook Heroes logo in your piece, like that. It was
That was pretty
it's so
cool. That
cool.
was so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's such a like it's something that you wouldn't just expect in a piece like that because you're just sitting there drawing from nature, and then you add in the logo. It just adds so much to the piece.
And the cool thing about
Yeah.
that is that you drew the bike that was here, Max's
Mhm.
bike from
Yeah.
in the back at the office that we're sitting in, and you also added our hero, like the Sketchbook Heroes logo because it was the event and everything, and you really captured the sort of like the floor, the bike, the people that were drawing
Yeah.
around you, and it was perfect. Like it's one of my like the best images from that night.
Yeah.
I think it really encapsulates that whole night.
100%.
It's very good.
Yes.
No offense to anybody else that was drawing.
No, you
of
suck.
course.
There's nah, just kidding. There's no contest. Don't be offended.
No.
No.
But Cina won.
You're gonna say Cina. I'm gonna say Kina.
Yeah.
and you're gonna say
No,
Karina.
Yeah. So we're gonna confuse
So we can all,
everyone.
yeah.
I'm saying Cina because it's the warrior princess. And
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's Zina.
So now I'm Zina. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm Zina.
Yeah.
It's Zina now.
Yes. Cina. She's Greek, right?
But how did you start like traveling with the sketch groups? Like, how did you get into that part of it? Because that's a pretty
Yeah.
big step.
Or maybe
Yeah, it is.
Can I jump in with
Yes.
a question before that? Just how
Sure.
you got in. Like, how was the first meeting with the sketch group? Because you said you found an article or something. When did you
Yeah.
guys actually meet up? And was that then
That was actually
overseas or
no, that was in Malmö.
yeah?
So it was the 3rd of October. I remember because that's my mother's birthday.
And on the
So-
4th, it's mine. So remember that, you bastards.
Exactly. Forget it.
No, but actually we were teaming up. I think we were like 10 or 15 people, something like that, because they had been writing about it in the newspaper, so people were curious
Mhm.
about it. And we were sketching together in one area. Just okay, let's just try this, sketch something, and then we'll just show each other what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then we were moving on to the next place and sketched a little there. And then we went to a coffee shop and just discussed things. So what would we do? What we did and why we choose that thing.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And from that moment, I was hooked.
Nice. How many times or how often did you guys meet as that group?
That group met, I think, once a month, ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't once a week. No.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, once a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
So and then into Ilya's questions.
No, I have one in between there as well.
No,
actually.
Ilias. Don't put yourself off.
Damn it, you
Yeah.
threw me off.
Yes, I did.
Damn it.
Always.
Always. Oh, what was the question? Panic.
Focusing in on details. Coffee shop afterwards. Discussing stuff.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did you make the? Because you said you were drawing from your imagination before.
Yeah.
How did you like? What was the? Because I love the first more than I love drawing things I see. But I think you should do both. But what made you sort of like take the leap into leaving imagination behind? You still use your imagination. I see it in your pictures.
Yeah.
But what made you sort of like go that route? You know, like
That
what?
route.
Yeah, exactly. Because I love imagination so much. I'm having a hard time letting it go.
Yeah.
Whereas you've taken the leap to do, like the things you see in front of you, and you
Yeah.
make them awesome. You make them into a story.
You've been living in a dream world. No.
Yeah. No, actually, I have been working at Egmont, sketching jigsaw puzzles and covers for coloring books and things for game boards and so on. And then it's always yeah, you can't do your own thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
you have
production.
a boss,
You're-
yeah.
and you have something you have to do, and you have to present that
and
to
it-
somebody, and it's always
yeah,
not-
and it's,
never for yourself.
Exactly, and it was always quite low age of it, so it had to be very
Simple,
preschool,
Mm.
very simple, very cute, and
Like
so
Robert's
on.
mind, like very
yeah,
simple
yeah,
and
exactly.
cute. And
Yeah.
That's what you would see. I see that, that the monkey from like Simpsons, the clapping monkey or something. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Sorry.
And actually, we had this reorganization at work, so my position was no longer available. So
Oh, yeah, I remember.
so I started to work with magazines on the same company, but then I didn't get to create anything anymore. So it was more like, okay, I got to do something to survive.
Yeah.
So actually, I think that was it, and it just happened to be around that time, and well, that was it. I mean, that
That is
gave
great.
me
Yeah.
gave me inspiration to just sketch with other people and also alone, but outdoors, or I mean indoors also, but just seeing things in the city. And when I remember you were talking about this in an episode not long ago about looking up,
Yeah.
looking at the city and just seeing things, and that is it just gives you want to know more. I mean, you want to see more. So, and I love this crazy contrasts that you can just see, like a lamppost or something that someone put some eyes on or something, like okay, this is so
Yeah.
fun that you
Just-
just have to do it.
Yeah, no, I get that. That is beautiful. I love that. Like
Yeah.
just those little details that someone went to the trouble of putting like eyes or something on a lamppost, or just like there's a sticker of whatever. Just
Yeah.
like people, or like someone just paints something like in a crazy color. Everything is gray, because Sweden is pretty gray, especially like this time of year.
Yeah.
But there are some places that just have
Yeah, those little details that make
Yeah.
you smile,
Yeah,
really.
that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
And I mean, it doesn't really have to be someone who did put
No,
something
no,
there.
it
It's
just-
just
You
art
could-
by accident.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
like there are
definitely
like
that.
two little screws on
Yeah,
top
it looks
of
like-
a hole, and it's
Yeah,
like a face. So
yeah.
that's.
But it's
So when you got into drawing with a lot of other people and doing this, did you have you started realizing that you perform better with a group of people, or do you prefer to be alone and chill in coffee shops? Like, I don't know, or is it from time or from day to day?
I think I need both of it, because sketching with people, I mean, it's a social thing. But you still sketch on your own, so you can be this.
You can still
You can be as social,
Yeah.
that's social.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you become social for just joining the group, I guess, and then
Yeah.
there's no like. Well, I guess if everybody else goes to the coffee shop and has coffee afterwards and talks, you could go home. I guess you don't have to join them.
But
Yeah.
well, I'm pretty social, so I want
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
I want to sit there.
That was cool. Thank you for not talking to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Oh man, I used to bring my sketchbook everywhere. Like I mean everywhere. Like if we were going to meet friends, I'd bring a sketchbook. My wife's like, are you gonna draw? Like while we talk
Yeah.
to them? I'm like,
Maybe.
that's not socially
No.
accepted. I'm like, because it's common for me. Like
Yeah.
I expect them to like it too.
Yeah.
I
but
don't know.
I sense that too. I mean,
Yeah.
because it depends on who you are with, because
Yeah.
then you just cannot pull out the sketchbook.
Of course
'Cause
you
it's
can.
Like, yeah, of course I can, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I think just be very open and say straight away that like you don't mean any offense to anybody if you're sketching. Like I had this conversation with a client of mine. Pretty sure it was Thomas.
He was like, "You're so rude. You're
T-
just
T
drawing
for
on my
serious."
leg. Yeah, you're just tattooing my leg. You're not talking to me." So,
no, but like, because I don't know. I know you're the same. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you're the same. If you go into a meeting,
Yeah.
you're always doodling.
always do.
Like
I
meeting
doodle.
doodles.
Yes, I doodle.
Like I know because I focus a lot better
So
at
do I.
what's happening in the meeting if I get to sketch while we're in the meeting. So I learned straight away when I was at Lego, the big company,
Mhm.
that I had to tell everybody that I
Okay,
don't.
I still listen.
Yeah, like
So-
I'm not being nonchalant or like a douchebag in any way. I need to sketch to focus. So like,
Yeah.
don't mind me sketching. It's just what I do. Yeah.
They
So-
actually at King they told us not to do that.
Really?
Yeah. Eventually, like I drew for 7 years, and on the 7th year they started talking about it. I was like, listen,
Yeah.
I've been doing this forever. It helps, and a
Yeah.
lot of artists have that. Like colleagues that I worked with, same thing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like if I can just do something with a pen on a
Yeah.
paper, it doesn't have to be like a painting or drawing. I mean,
No, I just
But
I
you
just
just-
doodle.
you
I
just
just do
doodle,
like
yeah.
like triangles or something, just to
Exactly.
keep something
I draw
moving.
poses. Yeah, I just draw poses, like little quick.
Those are
like-
your triangles. Yeah.
Yeah, my triangles.
I don't know what I draw. Skulls most of the time. But yeah, it's interesting. But I wanted to know, so after discovering the group thing,
Yeah.
when did you go overseas the first time and meet like a lot of people then?
Yeah, I think
Or
that
how
was
how did that come about? Was that included in like the group? Did you talk about that whole, I don't know, phenomenon of the thing at the first meeting with everybody, or did you discover that later on, or where did that come about? Just so we actually get to answer Ilya's questions.
yeah.
I've already forgotten. No, just kidding. I don't know
So
where
it's
I
cool.
am.
No, but I think it was. I mean, they were tipping about this. The organization's website and so on, because Malmö is just a small chapter.
Mhm.
Because this is a global thing.
What is the website? Just so we
urbansketchers.org.
nice. So
Well, and they have this symposium every year, every summer, where you can go on workshops and meet other sketchy peoples. And actually, I just thought like, okay, just let's do this. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, what is the price, by the way, of traveling and doing these things? Is it like something that they organize, or like
yeah,
the
do you have
get-togethers?
to-
Is it something you have to pay for?
So you have
know
to-
what I
yeah,
mean?
you have to pay for it.
Do you have to fix everything yourself, and just meet people at the
Yeah.
designated spot?
Yeah.
So there's no package deal that you can like buy. And
No
you get
all
the,
inclusive, no.
no, because that would be nice. That's what I need because I suck at organizing anything. So Yes.
No, actually, it's just show up. So, but of course, you need to have a ticket first,
Mm.
because this symposium you have to buy the ticket for it, because they cannot. I mean, it's a limited
Like
Space.
spots.
yeah,
Yeah.
limited space.
yeah.
And actually, it was Manchester, my first, and that was the summer after I started. So it wasn't
okay.
that long between.
How many people?
I think it were 500 in Manchester.
Wow,
It's a lot of people.
that's a lot of people.
So that was, I mean, I was inspired. I had inspiration from the little group, but going there, sketching with 500 people in every street corner, that was amazing.
That's so cool.
That was such a boost.
Mhm.
So actually, like the week after, you had this. I mean, you had this post-depression thing.
Oh yeah. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the after the high comes the low.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Mhm.
Exactly. So you were like, "Oh, I miss everyone."
Yep.
That's so cool. And for how long is the actual event then? Is it just one day?
4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Have you ever learned, like, has anyone during these events like actually taught you something, or is it just the inspiration boost that keeps you going? Do you know what I mean? Did you get any good advice, like, oh, have you ever tried doing it like this instead, or
Oh, yeah.
just like
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean it's a bit scary because you can choose going on workshops, or you can choose a ticket just to do sketch walks.
Oh, okay,
Then
okay,
you
yeah,
just do your own thing, sketching with other people.
Yeah.
And it's of course it's more expensive with the workshops because they have to arrange everything.
Do you know how much? Like, could you give us a price?
I think
like,
it's about.
preliminary.
I think the workshop thing has been like 4,500
Crown?
Swedish
Oh, that's
yeah, so
super
it's-
cheap.
Yeah.
Like for 4 days.
So like
for
Or
4
is it-
days.
Oh,
four,
yeah, that's
400 or 500 bucks ish.
Yeah, ish. And
Ish.
that's pretty cheap though.
Yeah.
And then the ticket, right?
Not the
And the
ticket.
flight, and then the flight ticket on top
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, because that's
So,
just the workshop.
just the workshops. Yeah.
I mean, I usually try to live at hostels, so to just keep the
Yeah.
price down. And there you meet people,
Of course.
strange people and fun people,
Yeah,
and
Other
just
sketchy people.
as other sketchy people.
Another type of sketchy people.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I've
Very
met
nice.
them too.
but it's fun. It's fun.
Nice. But I mean, you're going there to be outdoors and do stuff all the time. So like having a bed is pretty much all you need.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't need like
exactly.
a fancy place to stay.
No, I really just need a pillow
Yeah.
and some places to stay. So and just out again. So
That's
Yeah.
so cool. I love it.
What countries have you been to then drawing?
Manchester,
cities,
yeah, Manchester. The year after that, it was Chicago, and I
Badass.
never thought about going to Chicago. Just like, okay, but that was cool. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
So which other cities other than Manchester,
yeah,
Chicago?
After Chicago, I mean, that was a long trip. My first and only time in the U.S. So New York on the way home
Nice.
for
Cool.
2 days. That was like,
I was there for I was there for 3, so it wasn't a lot longer. So
That's all you need.
yeah. And Porto in
Portugal?
Portugal,
Mhm.
yeah. And I've been to Lisbon also,
mhm.
and Amsterdam this summer.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah.
Out of all the cities, which one did you love the most?
I love Lisbon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Lisbon. I loved Lisbon too.
Yeah, Lisbon is nice. It's really
I was
nice.
a little too young to remember everything. I was like 14, 15 maybe.
But Lisbon was so lush. Like when we went there, it was so green and in the area that we were.
Yeah.
So nice.
Mm.
Everything was just like the weather was awesome. We came from here, so everything is always great when you leave Sweden for any other country. The winters here are brutal.
It's brutal. I'm there now. I
But
want to go somewhere.
Did you did you do the sketch thing in Lisbon as well then? Or-
No, actually not.
that's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was in a workshop, but it was not this kind of a workshop. It was just one night with a friend that I met in Manchester.
Mhm.
So it was like he was having a workshop, and why not? Let's go.
Cool.
So I actually spent a week in Lisbon for just going to this workshop, and he and his girlfriend, they dragged me along to street parties and festival and things, and that was just awesome. So
That is
Cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having someone to just guide you through some of the stuff can be really nice.
Yeah.
And also so cool that you met him in Manchester. And then now you're meeting him again and it's through the same
Yeah.
loop or group of people or throughout art, I guess, through art.
Yeah,
Art
and
connects people.
it connects people. Because I mean, I met so many people on these events.
Are you sponsored by Nokia? Because I'm just like Nokia connecting people.
Which is yes.
Exactly. But we still keep in touch.
That's awesome,
So
right?
it's awesome. So in Chicago, I was staying with 3 other girls in a hostel room, where 2 of them were at the same event. So we were like sketching, sitting there in the bed sketching also.
Well, that's so cool because you really do like. If we check your sketches, it's like we're there. You know, because you don't just get the buildings like you said. You get everything that's happening around you,
Yeah.
and that's really nice. That's why I really think that you should make a book or something out of your sketches because they're so beautiful.
Yes.
And
I
especially
will
if you
sometime.
no, but I think you should.
You have
Yeah.
to.
No, but look, if you take a nice photo of what you're drawing,
Yeah.
and then you also have your drawing, that could be super cool.
Yeah.
So I would totally get that
Yeah.
book.
I don't think you even need the photo.
No, you don't need the photo. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
such a nice panoramic view that you always get. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is the photo shouldn't be big.
No,
I
no.
just want it there for reference, somewhere. and just have your drawings. Like you should never, because that's what I hate about art books that just put too much focus on text, and then you're just like, but the images are so small.
You should do
Just
a
do
map
that.
instead.
Do a
Just
map.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would actually
this
be
is where I
imagine
was.
that, like making
And
a
then
map, but
people
everything.
can go and see it for themselves.
Yeah, but then you have like these,
Let's do
like
it.
Google when you walk the streets, but
Yeah.
you get your images instead like that.
Oh
That would be
shit!
so cool. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be
Yes.
cool.
Holy shit!
Yeah, but anyway, the one of these girls that I
Mhm.
was staying with at the hostel, we actually stayed at the same hostel in Amsterdam this summer. So we
No
were
way.
having breakfast and we were like out all the time. So that was hilarious. It was
That-
fun.
That's super
And
awesome.
she's from Canada, so it was like,
Damn.
hey, I love
Geeks
you.
everywhere.
Yeah, geeks everywhere.
But didn't you also meet Martina that we met here on the
Yeah,
event, also
yeah.
like abroad,
Yes,
and then you guys met?
we met in Porto.
Oh, okay, you met in Porto.
We met in
okay.
Porto, and we met in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
And we never met here in Sweden
And now you did.
until your event.
The event.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
I was-
thank you again for coming up for that.
Yeah,
That
that
meant
was so
so
cool.
much. That was crazy.
Awesome. Thank you. And I think the best part of that night was the end. Like,
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
enjoyed the ending there, like with the in the cinema with the
Yeah.
snacks that we couldn't put out earlier. But then we had Matthias brought in the snacks, like the baguettes and the German sausage and the non-German sausage, and that sounds so weird.
Yes.
But yes, it was
Sausages-
super cozy.
Sausage party.
And then Martina's neighbor
Yeah,
on the big screen.
that was fun.
That was
Yeah.
fun. That was a lot of fun.
Perfect way to wrap it up. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
loved it. Now we've touched base on the urban sketching. I wanted to dive a little bit more into your sort of
Process?
editorial history a little bit,
Mm.
and maybe just talk about what you do for a living as well, so we don't
Yeah.
just not talk about that. So you've been with Egmont for over a decade.
Oh
Or
yeah, even
16
more.
years and 1 month, according to your LinkedIn.
That I did not read.
And so, yeah, take us through sort of as brief as you can
Yeah.
your history with Egmont, which is, I guess, one of the biggest publishers is in Europe or in Scandinavia, or
In the Nordics area,
Yeah.
at least. Yeah,
because
one of them.
now I think Lego has a collaboration with them with something.
Yeah, with something. Yeah.
With the magazines, I think,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Because that's where I used to work.
Mm.
And now also one of my former colleagues, Andrea, has started working with Egmont as well. So more Lego people is coming.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, Egmont.
I'm so very sorry.
Yes. But yeah, so Egmont, where,
Yeah, Egmont.
how, and why, and
How and
Egmont.
and
Yeah.
why,
Just
and why are you staying with them? No.
Actually, yeah. Well, I started with as I said, with the jigsaw puzzles and board games and coloring books and
So
so on.
how did that come about then? Like, did you just apply for a job, or did you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Actually, they were moving this part of the company that are making these things were stationed in Helsingborg,
Mm-hmm.
but they were going to move it to Malmö. So there were a lot of people who didn't want to commute that long.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so they needed to hire more people. So actually, well, I just got in.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so you were drawing puzzles, and was it for magazines and stuff?
No,
or
nothing for magazines then.
So
just for kid stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
That must have been so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
actually,
to
yeah.
a certain degree. Then,
To a certain degree. Yeah, and I mean, they were actually trying to get one illustrator and one graphic designer, and I could do both.
Oh.
So that was like, okay, let's take you.
So what was the difference between those two jobs then? So what would you do as an illustrator, and what would you do as a graphic designer? Like, where is the line?
Yeah,
Between the two.
the illustrator thing. I mean, that was mostly covers for coloring books. and sometimes for parts for games and so on. But then the graphic design thing is mostly packaging and the game board area, everything to really
Just
everything.
to get it together. Yeah.
Yeah, to get it together and to make the instructions and everything.
Oh, instructions
Wow.
are damn.
Yeah.
Just like that, I feel would be the hardest part. Just making it understandable to others.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm was working tight with a game designer. So she were having this idea of how the game would
Work.
how
I
it
guess.
would work,
Mm-hmm.
and making just little sketch with some doodle, and we just clicked because I understand her little signs
So
and so
like
on.
thumbnails, and
Yeah.
then just taking it from there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Your secret language.
Yeah, a secret language no one else understands.
I love the pictures you do now. That's my writing. No.
Yeah.
Just like, okay.
Yeah, but we were actually doing a lot of games for Disney games.
Oh, okay.
And then we just needed to check out what kind of style guide. I mean, what are we
Yeah.
allowed to use? Because
Yeah.
you're not allowed to use everything. Because
No.
you
Yeah.
got a certain style guide, and then you just see, okay, what have we got here? Because we're
Mhm.
not allowed to to draw something new. So we
No.
just had to
Take what you have.
make something of what we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
Disney is they're so strict with everything.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as I know, at least.
But
Yes. Yes.
I think
I'm not trash talking Disney. I love Disney, but
Yeah,
But they
but,
own us
maybe
all.
not working for them.
but there
yeah.
was also actually when you're working with these style guides, is so many cool things that you never ever see as a consumer.
Mhm.
That I mean, these character designers and I think just amazing.
Yeah.
So just flipping through a style guide and just seeing,
Yeah.
wow, that's cool, and you never see it out.
Yeah.
That's,
That was.
But- How did you keep your job fun, though? You know, because you've been there. For how many years did you do that specific job?
that
you know,
specific was 10 years.
10 years, because it's a long time to
Yeah,
be
it's
doing
a long
something. I
time.
was doing Candy Crush for 7 years, for
Yeah.
example, and people are always asking, how did you make that fun? Because
Yeah.
Candy Crush isn't a style that you draw in anything you do. And how did you keep it fun for you?
I think it was since it was so many different things.
Okay, yeah.
You were always doing something new,
Mm.
and you were always doing something with a new character, with a new style guide,
Mhm.
with a new. I mean, a game there. Advertise for something else.
Mhm.
I mean, always something new. So that was always inspiring.
Then I have another one for you.
Yeah.
Tell us of one time you messed up. Because I know that we all have like that in
Oh, yes.
some part of our careers. We've done something that was so terrible,
Mhm.
like that you feel it. You know, like you don't want to go to work that day. You don't want to you just you have to take it, like go there and just face the music. But oh man,
Yeah. I got
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah. I was working on a Spider-Man game.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yay! And I was pretty much finished. Not really, but almost.
Mhm.
And I had everything on a server, and I happened to delete it.
Of course,
Just-
as you do.
As you do. I mean, this little sign. Do you really want to delete?
Yeah,
Yes. No.
I loved you. Like you're on your way to press it, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, click.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You see the hand. Oh. No, that was terrible. That was terrible. And I was going up to the IT guy and just, please help me. But the backup wasn't. I mean, it was since last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't there.
nothing.
I had
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh my God.
Always save a copy of your file,
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Save yourself that
And-
trouble.
At least stay safe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or save. Don't
Just
delete
save.
your work.
Don't delete. Oh, that was a nightmare actually, because
What was the turnaround, or like how many days did you have to finish it after deleting it then?
I think I was supposed to send it to Disney in a week time, something like some day, just a few days from that, and it was. Summer holidays were coming up, and print deadline was coming up, and everyone was stressed because we wanted to have this have it approved before vacation times. So everything.
Nice.
So that was just okay. Grab your shit together and just do this.
Exactly. There is no social life from this day on.
30-hour work days. Let's do it. Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So actually, just headphones on, re-download things, and start from Disney and start over.
Oh man, that is terrible.
But at least you'd done it once, so you knew what you were going to do.
But they didn't suffer from it. You didn't have to face Disney and like, oh yeah, we didn't do shit because I erased it. You actually managed to get it out.
Yeah, we got it out. The fun thing is, the contract wasn't signed, so I couldn't upload it to their approval site anyway.
What? No.
So you stressed for nothing?
Yes.
Oh,
nice.
Fuckers.
Dun, 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 dun. You're like, yes, no one's gonna notice. I'm like, damn. Just like, son of a bitch, I didn't have to.
Ain't life grand?
So shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
All the
time.
All the time,
all the time. But since that day, it's if I want to force myself into flow, it's Muse and Supermassive Black Hole.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
So good.
Very good album.
So good.
So that was what I was listening to. Just so I'll never forget that feeling.
Yeah, but I think that's awesome. Like, and then that it, like, you got into such a flow that music is now the flow music. The flow music, yeah exactly. Like you've done something to that, like because of the stress and the stakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's become this thing where you've invested flow. Yeah. And now you can use it. Yeah. Like on demand, I guess.
That's how my playlist works. And this is like, I know Anna's listening now, so this is for you. Because she always complains about my one playlist, or not always. But, so I always listen to the same fucking music over and over and over and over again. Yes, I do exchange some of the songs, so it's a little bit fresh. But that's exactly why I listen to it, because that playlist makes me do stuff. Like, I need that music now. It's become a way of my workflow, like you say. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I listen to something else, it's not going to be the same. I can still create stuff, obviously, but whenever I listen to that playlist, it just gets shit done. Yeah. So that's why I need it. Like, you need Muse, I need my Lift the Pen playlist. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, so that's why I do it, Anna. Don't complain anymore. Accept the music.
And again, will break you down mentally eventually.
Yes. Embrace the music. Embrace the playlist. Sorry. Yes, I just had to explain that to people.
Very good, Robert. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Yes, you can find it on Spotify. It's an open playlist. Lift the pen.
Oh man, I have so many playlists. I just
see. That's why I'd be going crazy if I had too many playlists.
But the thing is, I do them by, usually I don't have mixed playlists. I have bands that I save, and then I put everything from that band in that playlist.
I normally don't like all the songs from the band.
Neither do I. That's when I make like a summer mix or a 2000 mix or just like a playlist. Usually I don't plan the playlists. I just like, oh, this sounds like the Devil's Blues. Mm-hmm. Then I'll just put everything that sounds like that type of music in that category. And then I have like where I find new rock songs that don't have a category, and I don't like you said, like they have one good song. Yeah. Then I just put those songs. If I find that they are fairly similar in style, I'll just put them in a list. And then I have these lists that I haven't really listened to, but I've put songs there over time. And then I'll listen to this mix. And then you find, and then you find like, oh shit, this one, that's where I put it. Yeah. So, I mean, because otherwise I get tired of them.
I understand that, but I just can't make myself to do it.
It's so easy.
It feels so time consuming in a way.
It's not, because you don't.
Everything feels time consuming for me. I'm just a lazy bum.
But do you always listen to music when you sketch?
I listen to podcasts.
I listen
lot.
to audiobooks or music, or I watch YouTube clips. It might sound weird that I watch stuff, but it's become a new way of me working now.
Is it?
I need to
It
see
sounds
sort
like
of
when we were kids watching
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly, like El Dorado or
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
these cartoons. Same thing there.
Same
I
thing,
still
yeah.
watch those types of movies too, but I kind of need a bit of movement and stuff going around on maybe the tablet or the TV.
Yeah.
It just
Coffee
helps
shops.
my I don't know, help my brain create more stuff, I guess. And yeah, coffee shops too, having people
Just
sort
having
of
people pass by, like that movement.
movement. Yeah.
And I usually have headphones, so now I don't hear them anymore.
Same.
But I hear some of what they're doing. You know, like the people that are closest to you, you feel that movement
Yeah,
in
okay.
the noise, sort of,
Yeah.
like the white noise, and then
So I
Yeah.
actually combine like, well, shitty movies or good cartoons with my Lift the Pen playlist. So I listen to music,
Yeah,
but
just
have that
having-
on. It's weird actually now that I think about the process. Like, why would I do that? Can I just like listen to music and draw? But no,
It
yeah.
works.
But when I'm doing urban sketching outdoors, I mean, or anywhere, I cannot listen to music. I mean, it's
No?
no. I just need to feel the space and hear. I mean, I just need to take in the place with all the senses. Maybe not lick the pavement.
No. It's oh wow, that
Like-
sounded disgusting. I was just like, wow, that was
Thinking of Newt Scamander, you know. Oh, you haven't seen Fantastic Beasts?
Commander. Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I mean, if you're sitting in an alley sketching, then
Taking
you're
pictures.
really.
Nice. Yay.
We've never done that. I don't know.
Oh my God. We got a camera.
Ta-da.
Technology. But so have you tried listening to music and sketching or like doing urban sketching? Have you seen or noticed a difference between the two? It's like, because I'm thinking
no, I
it's.
actually haven't.
You ever tried cocaine in urban sketching? No.
No, I haven't.
It'd be going really fast. Or not.
Yeah.
Drink and draw. Yeah.
Yes.
Drink and draw. Yeah.
Drink and draw.
Drink and draw with cocaine.
Fuck yeah.
No kids.
Try not to drink cocaine. But yeah, no, because it'd be interesting to see if you would still capture that sort of soul or vibrance of the place you're drawing if you removed that sense
Yeah.
like of sound.
Yeah,
would
because then
something
you're in a
happen?
different bubble. I
Exactly.
think.
'Cause
Yeah.
then it's almost like me drawing the TV or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Maybe.
One of
That
my
could be
favorite pieces that you made actually is the one with the where you painted like the salmon and the shrimp and the, you know which one I mean?
Yeah.
You
yeah.
just painted all those
Yeah, that
like
lunch
the-
sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't know. You captured like the dead stuff on ice, sort of like so perfectly, and all the like the pinks and the colors that you had there it was so good. Like
Yeah.
you could feel the freshness
Yeah.
of the fish and the shrimp and everything. that you
okay.
painted,
I
yeah.
thought it was lunch. Okay,
No,
that was the fish store in
Yeah,
Lisbon.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly that one.
Yeah.
It was so good. You really captured something there.
And that was actually at midnight.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You don't get that vibe.
No, you don't. Because it was like this restaurant with a huge window that was lit with all this fish.
Yeah.
So we were just standing there sketching. I need to sketch something more today.
Well, that is so good. That is, and since we're talking about sketching,
Yeah.
what is your process? Like, let's say you're sitting somewhere, doesn't matter, like a street corner.
Well, I want to know how you choose the corner and everything too. Like take from the very beginning of the urban sketching,
Okay.
like the whole process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. I'm kind of a slow starter because we usually have meetups at Saturdays, and then we just decide some place to start.
Is it always random, sort of? Or people just say,
Yeah.
like, one person says, let's meet here? Or
Actually, it's me. Often it's me
course.
telling where to. Since I'm the
boss lady.
Yeah, boss lady. Exactly. No, but we take turns.
Okay.
Yeah, but I usually just walk around a bit just to see what's in this area or if something inspiring me. And sometimes it's just like, okay, this is a good view and there's nowhere else to sit. Or usually I just tend to stand up because There are never a seat somewhere where you want to sketch.
No, where the angles are good, like getting that perspective that you want. Yeah.
Sometimes actually bring a little stool, a little tripod.
Yeah, one of those like fishermen's chairs, like.
I've got one of those backpacks.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
so
the
good.
backpacks.
Because that's actually the fun thing. When you're going to these symposiums, you can actually see who is an urban sketcher. Because everyone has backpacks and this little stool standing up from the backpack and a hat on their head.
Oh no! Or my dad, basically.
He
like
just
my
brings
dad.
a stool
No, but
anywhere he
my
goes.
dad has like the biggest gut and like a fanny pack. You're like,
Yes.
cool, bro. Cool.
Cookie on the cookie.
And then he has that little golfer's hat. You know, the
Oh,
little
yeah.
like old man. Just like.
Shout out
Yeah.
Costas. Keep it real, homie.
He's an urban sketcher.
He's an urban something, that's for sure. Okay, so then now you've chosen the spot.
Yeah,
You maybe have a chair, you maybe don't.
yeah.
What's the process like then? You find something that you think is interesting, and what
Yeah.
happens?
Yeah, then I sometimes I start with a small thumbnail,
Mm-hmm.
just like your Zelda sketches.
Oh yeah,
some of
I do
those.
the quick little.
Yeah, a quick little, but not every time. So,
Mm.
I mean, often it's just straight on.
Yeah. But do you like when you start? Do you do it in pencil? Do you do it in ink? What is like? How do you start?
Ink.
Ink.
Yeah.
Straight off. Just
Straight off. Sometimes I could use a pencil just if I need, just to limit myself if it's really complex.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
to okay, where are my vanishing points here? Just to get some kind of support.
Yeah.
But then it's mostly just direct ink. No, ink directly, and then watercolor after.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do it the other way around, but that's totally out of my comfort zone still.
Mhm.
That would be
it's-
pretty cool.
It's much quicker, but
Mhm.
it's so hard.
No, it is. It is. But the cool thing is that I think you can be a bit more loose with
Yeah.
the just going straight with
Yeah.
color.
Mm.
Yeah.
'Cause you can block things in.
Yeah.
And then just like, I want this to come out. I want this to come out.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That was ugly.
Mm.
But just the color of it could be really nice, getting like a feel for things. But it is way harder. I
Yeah.
read.
It is. I was actually doing that. The bus home broke down in the middle of the summer,
Oh.
and it was like 30 degrees. You couldn't sit inside the bus to
Yeah.
wait until the next bus were coming.
Oh shit.
So we had to go out because it was super hot, and then it was like, okay, standing in the middle of a field, literally. So okay, here's a bus. Okay, I got my sketchbook.
Mhm.
Perfect.
So, and I knew the other bus was going to come in 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had a time limit, 20 minutes, tops.
Mhm.
I need to finish. So
Wow.
that was a watercolor first, just, and then ink on that, and some color pencil and some white Posca. So it was like just.
Block it out.
Yeah, block it
fast
out. Block it
and-
out fast,
Mhm.
and then final touch on the bus.
But that's
later.
awesome.
That's
Then
all.
I'm not the
Yeah.
only nerd here, because usually when I buy food out, and I know like, okay, this is gonna take this amount of time, I'll try to have a sketch out, like the Zelda sketches. Try to get them, like when I go to Joe and the Juice.
Mhm.
I know, like, depending if I go during lunch, I know it's gonna take a little longer than usual, and I try to like, okay, I'm gonna try to draw it before they finish my thing. So I try to get as far. I've never finished because they're fairly fast, but I've gotten like more than halfway, and then I hear they call my name. I'm like, damn it! But it's fun because when you do that, you loosen up.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, there's just it's like a deadline. You know
Yeah.
you have to finish tomorrow. You
Yeah.
become way more effective.
Yeah, and you don't get stuck in the details, because I
At
mean
all.
you just need to just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Go Nike.
Yeah, exactly. Just go Nike on the.
Yeah.
Just like,
But so we did an exercise like this in art class, the latest art class I did. in Australia, and that was you take a selfie or choose a portrait of somebody, and then you have 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So same picture, but just like and you do this like we tried to host a few drink and draws in our house, and we did that as sort of a warm up exercise and stuff. And it was so much fun to see everybody. It was almost like they got better the less time you had.
Yeah.
Everybody started like going into too many details when you had like 10, 20 minutes to draw a face, you know. But then when you only have 2 minutes, you only draw what you need to draw, and it's like it just comes out perfectly. So that's an awesome exercise for anybody that's sort of stuck somewhere and want to try something. Do that with your friends or just alone, but do the time limit thing. We've talked about it a couple of times too. It's an awesome exercise.
And also trying this not lift your pen from the paper.
Mm-hmm.
That's also, I mean, it's quite it's quite hard, but it's quite liberating. It's just like, you just loosen up.
Then you should buy my ink pencil, like the ones I use. Because when I do the
flat.
Yeah, that one is perfect. Like especially when you're drawing, like once you've got your sort of, because what I do is like I put like guides, like I guide my lines. So for example, I try to keep the side that has the shadow. That's like I'm sloppier. Because I know it's gonna, like, I need the texture and the brushwork.
And you have more leeway on that side too.
Yeah, exactly, to make mistakes. And on the other side, I just sort of like, I just do like one line there, and then I go up. Some lines are just in my head because I just skip a part, and then I just like draw like a branch coming out of the trunk there. Then I just leave that, and then I go to somewhere else, and I leave room for light. And then once that is done, I just like, you start just like, just like slapping ink everywhere, like in the darker sides, and you don't have to lift the pen. No. Same thing when I draw the leaves. It's just like, you just like cut the ink. Like it's a flat metal brush, so it feels like I'm not lifting. I'm probably lifting the pen more than I think, but it's so fast. And usually I like to have music on that has a certain pace, because then you just like, it grows so fast.
Yeah.
You look like a crazy person though, but it is super fun. Like there's something nice about having the tempo of the music and drawing really fast and being able to do it as well. Because usually when I draw, it's just like sketching, erasing, doing the, like correcting, moving. But those like ink sketches are so fast, and it's so nice. And then once you're done, you've actually drawn something that you don't feel sick about. You see the mistakes still, and sometimes you're just like, should I post this? And then you do anyway, because it's a good exercise to not focus too much on just the end result. Like if you learned something along the way, it carries to the next piece as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So but I think this time, if you got this deadline, like 10 minutes, it's I mean, why not? You got 10 minutes. Got a sketchbook, got a pen, why not?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I really like that, and I would tell anyone that's stuck in an image to have like 20 minutes and then draw 4 of the thing you want to draw. Like 4 different sketches of the same thing, just to push yourself to do more. Because if I just got to do the one in 20 minutes, I'm going to, like you said, Robert, you're
going to overwork
it. Yeah, you're going to focus on the wrong things. But if you have to do 4 of them, you're going to spend less time because you have less time now. And I think it's just because then you'll get the essentials out. Like they won't be good, like they won't look pretty, but you'll have it there. And then you can take that and start working on your final piece,
I can parallel that to the way I work normally, like with any, like if I get a cover job from you, for example, we always keep saying that we need that fire up our ass, or I do. Like the deadline.
Me too. Totally deadline person.
Yeah, so that's why that's why it's natural for me to push the deadline as much as I can, and then create like with this burst of flame towards the end of it. You know, I think it's pretty much has to do with the same thing. Like you need that limit to really get it done. Otherwise, you're going to spend too much time on it. You're never going to be happy with it. I need at least to just know that it needs to be done. Just get it done. Work, finished, poof, and then submit it. So that's why, like, I think 2 days before deadline might be the earliest I've submitted something. But yeah.
So I'm not going to give you the deadline of too soon.
Exactly.
Surprise deadline, Robert. It has to be in tomorrow. What? But how do you deal with, like, when sketches don't turn out the way you want, which most times for me, at least, they don't. You know, like, stuff doesn't turn out exactly how I planned them in my head. Or like the vision that I have.
This all the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So how do you? Because a lot of my link sketch, some of them I just like, yeah, and I still post them because I think that's an exercise in itself as well.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with your like worst? Because they're worst for you because you have a reference. Most of us that look, you know, when I look at Robert's work or your work, I don't have the reference for it.
Yeah.
So I don't have expectations on it.
Exactly.
But for my own work, you know, there's like I wanted it to look like this, and
exactly.
this is what I got.
Everybody forgets that. I think because Anna reminded me that the other day, and I haven't actually thought about it in that way before. That I think everybody knows the reference I'm drawing from, so that's why it always feels bad when I post something. But that's 100% true.
Because
like
people don't know what's going on inside your head.
Exactly.
And what you see, because I mean that everyone see things differently.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's the fun thing. If you're 10 people sitting sketching the same thing outdoors, I mean every sketch is different, and everyone is seeing different things, and we're still doing the same
thing.
And I mean. I think something is important. And someone else thinks something else is important.
It's all about perspective. I guess,
perspective, and then you get different angles of things, and just
and emotions, I guess, too.
And emotions.
That's got to be super interesting. Like seeing. Well, maybe somebody is like feeling a bit sad or angry or something, and
and gets that angle.
And then you have like. Well, Cina, who is like the happiest person alive, who just draws out of pure happiness always. Yay! And just
glitter.
Seeing the difference between those two. Like, what will the hateful person like narrow in on? Will it be like
shit?
A turd, a turd on the ground in Chicago, like, or what do they draw? You know, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
It is, and everyone is having their own style, and you can just see, we were here at the same time, and everyone is seeing different things.
Do people use different materials as well, or do you try to stick to the same type? Or
is there like an elitist tool set? Like
exactly. What brought? Well, yeah. Let's bring that up later on. I'm not going to ask that one. I'm trying to remember. I'll pin it.
We'll forget.
Yes, we're going to forget totally.
If you've ever listened to this podcast, we've forgotten a lot of shit.
All right. So the topic today was urban sketching.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been talking about.
Are you ever chasing style? Because we've talked about style. I keep getting 1,000 messages on style.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like,
what is style?
What is style? How do I get my own style? Like,
can I buy style?
Because you said something that we've mentioned before, and that's like everyone has their own way of looking at something. So even though we're all drawing the same thing, the result is very different.
Yeah.
And that is your style. You know, like your perception of something, the way you'll draw it is your style.
Yeah.
And have you ever like, I need to style something up? You know what I mean? Like,
change style.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I've been going through this low period now, where I'm kind of sick of my style. Just like, oh no, one more. But I don't know. From the beginning, I was like, oh, what is my style? Oh, like these questions. And someone told me, okay, just keep on sketching. you can't avoid your style anyway. I mean, you don't have to pursue it. It's already there.
Yeah.
But you will develop it.
Yeah. That's
So,
that's the best advice, I think, for everybody.
Yeah.
And we've said it too.
Yeah,
it
and
is already there.
Something I've noticed now that I've been drawing the same thing, that's what I'm feeling, that I've been drawing the same thing over and over. It's more appreciated by the algorithm now and people
Yeah.
because it's you there is like I don't know, like
Expectations?
no. There's like cohesiveness. Like there's a narrative. I don't have a narrative, but it feels like I do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? To people, it's easy.
I would argue that you do have
but
a
it's
narrative.
but the narrative is just Link walking through like
Yeah. It's a
different
day, a day
places.
in the life.
Like, yeah, exactly. He's just like, oh, now he's at this place. Oh, now he's at this rocky
You should
place.
definitely
this
do
ruins,
one
and-
with more like he's taking a potty break.
Yeah,
you know?
just like shitting in a bush
Like he's been walking for 2 months now, you know.
without taking a dump.
He's not sleeping. He's not eating. He needs
Like,
to.
that's the thing. That's the hard thing. Like, because my drawings are very sort of like organic,
Yeah.
and it's so hard to like do something with Link with straight inks. Someone said like, "Why aren't you sketching?" I'm like, I have no idea, because I just feel like I'm cheating myself. Because the cool thing about using inks is that it makes me think about things, and I get to draw them in my head. Like I need to place things mentally, and like in the beginning, I was inking everything, and now I'm trying like if I'm drawing a rock that has perspective in it somehow, you know, it's not a correct perspective, but it's a perspective. I try to paint half the rock and then keep the rest of the rock in my head so that I can go in with white later and paint that side of the rock, you know, or just... So
He's called Dwayne Johnson now, just so you know.
Yes, of course, The Rock. Thank you so much for clarifying my artistic
Just
process.
so you know, he doesn't go by The Rock anymore.
But that's but it's really just like a balance of like trying to remember things. So it's a good mental exercise.
Yeah.
About taking decisions and making.
But you have more consequence with the decisions you make now because you can't go back. And it's not on an iPad or it's not with pencil and you
just
can't.
turn the page.
Yeah. But I mean, in that sense.
Yeah.
Which is why I always
But it feels terrible to fail and then turn the page and have a half-finished one. I have, I think, maybe a total of 4 or 5 of them that just, like, I started drawing them. I got pretty far, and they just don't work. Or I just, like, I put Link below the ground, you know, somehow. And it's black ink. Like, I can't undraw it.
Just flip the page and start over.
I do. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But it feels terrible to leave those pages like that. But I still do it because I promised myself that I was going to not give a fuck about. And I almost, like, I have maybe 1/3 of the sketchbook left.
It's so cool.
So you could always do thumbnails or other exercises on those pages.
Exactly.
Or just if you're doing with watercolors, just
paint over.
rinse your pens, your brush on it or something.
Exactly.
But I can always go in with the gouache later and just paint over the whole thing. Just
But I think those pages are, for me at least, more interesting to see almost than the finished ones because you see
the process.
Exactly, like the learning process of how you got to the next step. And it is because you are painting chronologically pretty much. It is page per page per page. Like every time you flip, it is you getting slowly better and more confident with the way you do stuff, which is why I loved flipping through that book. And I haven't seen the later ones, like
I started backwards as well. Like first I was doing like the sketch on the left side and the drawing on the right side. But now I thought like I could get more sketches in if I do all the thumbnails from the end to the beginning, and then I'll do the actual drawings from, you know, like the beginning to the end. So one side goes chronologically and the sketches go from the backwards. So that's a fun approach that I haven't done. So my sketchbook is sort of like meeting in the middle somewhere.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Okay.
I love that.
So all the shame is in the back, but I kind of love the thumbnails. But then there's a lot of stuff in between there where I'm like, oh, the ink or the just trying stuff out and it's failing, but it's there you can see a lot of the progress as well. Like, I need to try this type of rock or bush or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun.
Nice.
I usually sketch all over the place.
Ah, so do I.
So it's the whole spread.
Yeah, but I love that. I love drawing. Like, for example, like I'm supposed to draw on the one page, but I go over.
Yeah.
So parts of the tree
just
or
grows.
something. Yeah, exactly. But you don't use like the whole page still,
No.
like the other one.
Just
but
what
you
you
still
need.
just go through, like you just cross over a little.
Yeah.
Like there's a tree and some terrain and, like a bit of grass on that page as well. And then I have like sketches on the left-hand side still, like cluttering it up. So it is both like the sketch and the artwork on the same.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And yeah, it feels good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that, because we do live in Sweden,
Yeah.
just going back to your sketchy days,
Okay, we're derailing again.
Yeah,
trying to
let's
keep
go.
us on track here. But yes, we are in Sweden. It's dark always. It's cold.
Hello,
It's
darkness,
snowy.
my
It's shit.
friend.
What do you do now with your urban sketching most of the time? Is it always in coffee shops, or do you still go out and sketch outside?
Do you lie when you paint? Like, 'cause it's all gray? You just, like, add color? There's no color.
There's no color.
There is no
Exactly.
Well, I live in the south of Sweden.
That's
It's
true.
more like-
Oh, yeah.
Summer comes early to you
Yeah.
guys.
Summer all year round.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I lived in Skåne for a year. There was no fucking sun.
I mean, here it's snow in the winter. It's not down there. It's
Oh, yeah.
still just gray. So
We don't have snow. We have gray. They're both equally sad.
I'm still not jealous though. You can keep it. But yeah, so do you stay indoors then and do like coffee shop doodles or?
Yeah, I would try to maybe go to a museum or a coffee shops or or a mall, something. Find some place where there's people and things may be interesting.
Do you never go like do you have a place where you always go back to if you like can't think of any other place? Do you have like the mall you said, for example? Do you go there often, or is it always trying to find a new place? Like
Yeah, we're trying to find new places just to just to cover the city.
yeah,
I mean, there's no plan. I mean, it's more like we want to sketch together, but we do it, and it's kind of a documentary. I mean, but I suppose the central station. I mean, it's a lot of people. It's not super cold, and something's happening all the time. So I mean, that's
and good coffee.
and good coffee.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
Coffee
that's
is
something.
very important.
Yes.
Unless you add milk, then you're a blasphemer. I don't care about you. I hate you.
But actually, the mall is quite hard because it's so noisy, and
We just call him Darth.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Darth Maul.
Maul.
No, we're not going there.
Oh,
Come on, we talked about Disney.
you're a dad. You can do it. It's all right.
We're gonna go to the Darth Mall, kids. I'd totally open a Darth Mall
Dude.
just to have it, and then just sell it immediately. Like, but it's going really. I don't care. I just don't. I just wanted to call something Darth Mall. Welcome to Darth Mall.
I pictured a mall with just darts, you know, throwing
Darth Mall.
Yeah.
Darth Mall.
Dart mall.
Well, I had an Aikido master that was called his photo shop, like his shop,
No way.
Dick's Photos. Or no, Dick Pics.
Dick
Dick's Pics, actually, but still, Dick's Pics. In
Oh, that's-
Skåne somewhere, or Ystad,
Oh, that's
I
genius.
think, yeah. That's fucking good. And when you saw him, he seemed so meek and nice, and like he talked quiet and controlled, and he did Aikido on like a high level, and then like Dick's Pics.
Nice.
That was his shop. It's just so good. Just like the contrast to his personality.
Dick.
Pics. But before we wrap like this segment up, I would really like to if someone wants to get into urban sketching,
Yeah.
what are because you've been doing it for quite a long time
5-6
now.
years.
Yeah. What is how would you recommend someone getting started
Yeah.
exploring that?
I mean, there you could always try to check out if there's a group in your city. Usually they have a Facebook page, so Urban Sketchers and something.
Yeah, your city or your something
like that. And they're posting events on when to meet up. So then you just show up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
and there's, I mean, it's you can always do it on your own also. I mean, I like to do that also.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can, I mean, then it's no pressure time wise and to, I mean, people have different energy levels and so on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because I mean, I can usually sketch more after the meeting, because then I'm in flow. I mean, I'm the slow starter, so I need to often
Warm up
just
a bit.
warm
Yeah.
up a bit
Mhm.
and push myself, and then often I just have to think like, okay, this is a warm up sketch,
Mm-hmm.
so it's nothing. It's not going to be anything important, and then you can just okay, now it's okay.
Just to get something. I like that. And also a reminder to everyone, if there is no urban sketching group in your vicinity or city or wherever the fuck you are, you can start it because it costs absolutely nothing.
Oh.
So, and you don't have to be good at it. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
So you can just get a group of friends. You can get some strangers. You meet at a, like a public place. You put your asses down or you stand and you draw, whatever is around you. So it doesn't take a lot to get started. So remember, because I get that question like, could you bring this event to Malmö? Could you bring this place to Göteborg? Or just like, or last time I think they said bring this to, it was a place in the States. They wanted us to bring the event there. I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
The
And I
Sketchbook
was,
Heroes thing?
yeah. And I was like, this is something you could just organize. Like,
Yeah,
it
just do
costs
it.
nothing.
Yeah.
Just like you could meet at a coffee shop like we did it before
Yeah.
because we wanted to avoid paying for it
Mm.
and we wanted to get people. So you can just simply just get people together.
Yeah.
Like you'll start small probably because you can't reach that many people.
Or you're
But
not that
eventually-
popular.
Yeah, exactly. But you could always like, because what we do is that we ask someone to bring someone else.
Yeah.
And then eventually the group grows, and sometimes it grows out of proportions, and then you have to have your own venue.
Yeah, and then
but
exactly, because in the New York group,
mhm.
I think they
Oh
meet.
shit! How many are they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Because
Because I think they meet. They got different groups. They meet in. I think it's like Tuesday, Wednesdays, or and Saturdays.
What?
I'm just thinking they could have a group for every fucking day,
Yeah,
and it'd
probably.
be different people every time.
And I think-
just like,
And like in Hong Kong or Singapore, I mean, there are thousands of people. There's like it's crazy.
but that is insane. They're all pros.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume they're all pros. Just like,
No one is older than 10.
yeah, they're very young, but they're all very good.
They're super good. That's amazing.
Awesome. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm moving around here.
Why are you doing? Are you like moving the whole room?
Yeah.
'Cause that's what it sounds like.
Comfy.
No, but urban sketching, I mean, there are some criterias for being urban sketching.
You have to have the hat.
And your
Yeah.
name has to be
the
urban.
seat.
Yeah. Exactly. No, but you have to draw on location.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't draw from a picture.
No.
Yeah,
So
of
it's
course.
on site.
Is
Yeah.
it okay to take a picture on site? No.
Yeah, it's okay to take a picture. I mean, I often take a picture on my sketch and just to see
Yeah.
what did
Yeah,
it look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, before you start your sketch, would you ever take a picture before that? So you always had that to sort of help? Because maybe there was something there right when you came there that you wanted to keep? Or
Yes, sometimes I do.
But is that sort of cheating?
Yeah, if I would go home and sketch it later, it would
That
be,
would be cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can always sketch your own way. But for being an urban sketch,
Had to. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so criteria 1, you're at the place.
At the place, exactly.
Yes.
But I do sometimes take a photo just to have a color reference
Smart.
in case you have to go.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
in case
Your
this
drawing is Sweden.
bus, yeah, exactly, this bus leaves, or in case it gets dark. I
Yeah.
mean,
Or someone blows up the building.
Yeah, well, or
Yeah.
that.
Because that
know,
happens all the
The
time.
Sketchbook Heroes is dark now. Yes.
so dark,
No more happiness.
dark alleys.
Yeah. We should just have like Ben Affleck masks on. Like just that video of him going sad. Like the saddest
Oh my
like
God.
part of that video. Just like when he looks the saddest. That's what we print and
He
make a
always
mask.
looks the saddest.
Yeah, but
He's a sad dude. Yeah, sorry.
no, I'm not done. Ben Affleck. No, just
Other
kidding.
criteria. Let's
Other
go.
criteria.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a record of time and place. I mean, yeah, you could use things. I mean, people are, I mean, important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes if you focus on a building, yeah, it's a building, but it's not alive.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the area. You're telling a story. Why are these people here? Why is this building important?
Mhm.
Why? And like city signs. I mean, it makes the city like litter boxes and yeah.
All
Yeah,
those,
yeah, yeah,
all
like
those
little
things
details.
that makes the city, because
Mhm.
often you skip it because you think they're ugly, but
Mhm.
Stomach.
it's those that makes the
Yeah.
city. I mean, we always interact with all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
so pretty important details.
so it's
Like
like-
fire posts. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
the
been
fire
I've
posts,
been
yeah.
thinking about that a lot because we don't have them in Sweden.
No, we
No.
And I mean, other people will think it's strange
Mm-hmm.
because they're everywhere in other countries.
But we
Mhm.
have those like
But
square.
we have them in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or like in buildings too.
yeah, in
Yeah.
buildings. Yeah.
But we have elskåp. Do they have elskåp? Those beautiful gray-looking things with.
with the electric circuits.
yeah. It's just like what the fuck? They're everywhere.
exactly.
All
no,
right.
but so things that makes that can tell a
Mhm.
story about the place. And I mean, you were talking about me putting some logo
Mhm.
or something in it. That's also it tells you where you are.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're at a street corner doing sketching a house, and then why not just add the street name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
On
the
the
sign.
sign, on the
Mhm.
sign on the wall. I
Mhm.
mean, then it's it's there.
But you always like really emphasize it, so you bring that part of it out. Do you think that's maybe because you do have a graphic design background as well, and
Maybe.
you think
Yeah, maybe.
because it is very graphic designy-ish, like it just looks.
Yeah.
You work with editorial, you work
Yeah.
with books and magazines and layout, so I think you just have a good eye for what works in a composition of a piece,
Yeah.
and this is really something that I just thought of now. But it all makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
didn't read this on LinkedIn? I'm just.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, yes. Okay, cool. Any other sort of important criteria or anything important to know if you are looking to go into this? Like, if you sign up for do you have to sign up for anything? What happens? Are you locked in for life? Do you have to
will
sign
they
your
find
soul
you?
away? Like, do you have to give up some organs to be a part of this group? Or what is the deal? Or if there's any deal at all?
No, it's totally just sketch.
Just sketch.
Just sketch and be true to I mean,
Whatever.
just
the craft.
tell the story. I
Yeah.
mean, and then use whatever material you want. I mean, some people are sitting there with I saw someone sitting there ripping paper and gluing it to to making like a scrapbook thing
Yeah.
of. I mean, whoa.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Not my style, but
Yeah.
awesome. And then maybe try it sometime,
Mhm.
but just to make it happen.
Can I bring, like a canvas and then put a glass on it and then just like, not a canvas. I mean, like, what do you call those? Like the things you put a canvas on.
Stuffly.
Yeah, that one in English.
The tripod.
Yeah, what the fuck are they called? Like the.
Yeah, I actually don't know what
I
they're
don't
called.
know.
They're called. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll just bring a
that's what they're
glass,
called.
like a piece of glass, and then put a paper on it, and then just trace the
Trace the
city.
city.
Is that?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
She just
You're
said
on
any.
site.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, I'm on site tracing. That would be so beautiful. Like, you go around and you just trace shit. It's just like.
I
straight.
actually seen someone do that. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I got there's a guy, Richard Briggs in Sydney, who
Richie.
Richard Rich.
he used this blue masking tape
Oh.
on the streets or on the walls or on doors.
Yes.
Just to
She just
like-
showed me this before we started. It's really cool and very like graphic designery,
Yeah,
very geometrical shapes and stuff.
he's an architect.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
That explains both tape and motifs.
And nerd.
And nerd. Total nerd. Richie nerd.
But
Sorry.
before we actually move on, who are your influences? Like, drop some names of people that you really enjoy.
Oh, that's.
We got to do that, right? You got to
We gotta
remember.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your main
Just-
inspirations.
So
Maybe-
just the urban sketching
yeah,
people
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can't name us, unfortunately,
Oh.
because we know you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Mike Daikubara.
Mike the Dyke.
Mike the Dyke. That's what I got as well.
Yeah. Sorry. I said that,
Hi,
not
Mike.
Cina. Sorry.
What's up, Dyke? No.
Ilias, why? Why do you have to ruin everything? Sorry.
No.
Yeah. So Mike.
Okay, Mike Daikubara. He actually taught me just sketch, think later. So just do it.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
and that's awesome. Just because he had like this 10 minutes, no one else sketches in his family or anything. So it's just like, okay, I need to just create some time to sketch. So that's cool.
So he gave himself a full 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What a hero.
That is awesome. Like, you use the time you have, not the time you wish you had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is no excuse, people. Seriously.
And there's Pedro Loureiro from Lisbon.
From Lisbon.
Yes.
Awesome. And do both of them use watercolors, or what are they using?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah?
They do.
But have you been to workshops? Like have they all held workshops, or have they just been there?
They have actually, they have held workshops. Yes.
Any other shout outs you want to do while we're on the subject of urban sketching?
Okay, yeah. Nina Johansson, Swedish, Stockholm.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Yeah.
awesome. She's on fire. No, but,
Does she have an Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
You
you know
should
what-
check her Inktober. That's awesome.
And her name is it Nina Johansson?
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
that's a common name.
Let's see, Inktober. It's Nina's sketching.
Simple.
Easy enough. Yeah. Awesome.
Sweet.
Okay.
And where can they find you? I'm going to post it in the podcast description and in the post and everything, but
Yes.
for the lazy ones.
Then it's Cina with a C, Tornqvist.
Super
in
simple.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah.
And cue the music thingy. I don't know.
Sound effects. Oh, you're doing sound effects. You win.
Yes.
Woo! And we're back.
And we are back.
Yes, and we'll be talking tools. And not our tools, but Kina's tools, or Zina's tool, or Karina's tools. Who knows?
Urban tools.
Urban tools.
Urban tools.
Yes. We are talking toolies. So
Toolies. Yeah.
what tools would you recommend for crazy people going out into the streets and sitting down?
Yes, or what are your favorite tools?
Yes.
You don't have to recommend them.
No.
You just like
Okay.
secretly
Yeah,
use
your
them.
personal setup. Sorry. It's
My
better.
personal setup. I use a fountain pen. Actually, now I have been using a Lamy Safari just for starting up, quite cheap. But now I use a Twisby Echo because it holds a lot of ink and it's easy to fill up.
And it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it
It
does.
sounds
That
awesome.
sounds so
It's a
professional.
twist.
Yeah.
like fine liner.
Yeah. I use fine liners also, but these are, I mean, it's quite a good flow. I
But
like
is the ink like water soluble, or is it like
it's
the other one?
waterproof.
Waterproof?
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that is some like, of course, something that you had to find out the hard way or find out the hard way. Yes. Like
Yes. Yes.
ruining 100 images with the wrong pens.
Yes, because I started actually with the Lamy Safari. Buying it here in Sweden, you cannot buy. I mean, I wasn't even allowed to buy
What?
Not
allowed. Please
at
elaborate.
Maton.
Oh, really?
She refused to sell me a waterproof ink to this one because it will ruin the pen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because it will clog inside.
Yeah, of course.
Because we don't have the good stuff in Sweden.
Oh,
Really?
So you have
That is just
to
dumb.
order it online. So
Okay. So what is the good stuff?
I use Diatramentis ink.
Diacromentis?
Diatramentis.
Diatra.
German ink.
Okay.
So it's not something that Wolverine has in his claws.
No, that's adamantium.
God damn it.
Yeah. Or not in his claws. on
No,
his
I'm
claws.
just kidding. On top.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't joke about that.
I know it's adamantium.
Snicked.
Snicked.
Jesus.
Exactly. Fan vad snyggt.
Ba-dum, bum, psh. Fucking
No
on
one got
fire
that except
today.
me.
God damn.
Swedes got that maybe.
Got them daddy jokes. Yeah. So back to you, Cina. Materials.
Yeah,
Yes.
materials.
So inks and what else?
Inks and watercolors.
And what are we painting on?
Yeah, of course. I got a sketchbook. Usually, my favorite is Hanemühle watercolor sketchbook.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
What thickness is the paper? Do you know? Like or weight?
Is it watercolor paper?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
watercolor
right?
paper.
300 maybe.
Yeah, or 240,
240,
maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And it's a fine grain in it. So
Oh, nice.
So it's a bit scratchy, but it gets
Good texture.
yeah, get good texture. Yeah,
But
and
you-
it's not too rough with a fountain pen, because then it gets kind of wobbly.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to ask, obviously. But you answered it. So
Yes,
good.
yes. But I mean, everyone's got their style and so on. Sometimes I got this another broader. It's not like your parallel pen, but it's called a Fude pen.
Oh
It's,
yeah, I know which one it is. Yeah.
The nib is bent,
Mm-hmm.
so you can. The way you angle it, you can get thicker or smaller lines.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
like a little, like it sticks out, right? And then
Yeah, it
the
sticks
nib
out
comes
like
out.
like
yeah.
a little
L
or like a little
like a
L or like
J,
a little hockey.
Okay.
like a little.
I don't
yeah.
think I've ever seen anything like that. That sounds
Yeah.
super interesting.
Yeah, but it's quite flowy, so there's a lot of ink coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of quite good texture. If you have a textured paper, it gets good effects. Like it looks a bit gritty.
Yeah,
So,
I love that.
yeah.
That's
cool.
very nice.
All right. And so
watercolors. Yeah. What do you prefer?
I got to make different kinds, just what I got hold of. So
Nothing that's been like, this is the best one, I'm sticking
Yeah.
with this.
Nah, I'm trying things. I
But
mean,
you're not buying like because when I use like super cheap ones that I
Yeah.
buy for my kids,
Yeah.
that I've stopped buying for my kids, is that the colors, like no matter how much water and how many times you sort of
Yeah.
like put your brush in it, nothing happens.
Yeah,
you know, like
nothing
the
happens.
pigments are so weak
Yeah.
that it's just like
No.
you just basically water with the tint of.
Yeah, no,
So-
that because I started with the Winsor Newton Cotman.
That's the one I have.
Yeah, and I mean it works, but there's quite a little pigments in it, so you have to really work it.
Yeah.
And I actually started in the Leuchtturm, just like you've been doing.
Oh, yeah.
with the Cotman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm
I know
following
the-
in your footsteps.
yeah, exactly. So I know the feeling of this just light wash or the paper is just getting ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
that paper
love it
really
too.
gets ruined. Like
Yeah.
like when you have anything with water in it and you pass like the same area too many times. I'm surprised that Copics like hold But anything else,
Yeah.
like even my ink pens,
Yeah.
let's
It'll
say I
start-
do it. No, it doesn't wobble, but the paper starts.
It starts to
dil-
dissolve.
yeah, dissolve exactly.
Oh yeah.
So you get all these like little paper hairs or whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, like little coming off the
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
So I can only go like I can't like I need to let it dry and then just like sort of like just like like
Lightly.
dab
mhm.
on the areas where I missed if I want to get a like all black
Yeah.
because otherwise the paper just and you can see it in the light as well. Like when you tilt the paper, you see that I've damaged the paper, sort of like cut it out, like basically just made a dent in it.
Oh, I'm really
We just,
putting mine to the test.
Bringing out the scalpel and just
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Like I'm cutting, like
yeah.
scraping out bits.
But I don't know. I think all of that adds more to the piece.
But then
Like
for me, it has to happen like more. If it's just one area, for me, that's just like ugh. But if I have it sort of like recurring,
So it's,
then I feel that it is more of a part of the thing.
Yeah.
Like once is an accident, twice is a habit. I don't know. Fuck it.
have
Something
accidents.
super smart. Imagine that was super smart.
Just
Yeah,
go Bob
just-
Ross. Yes. Make anything into a good thing. Yes.
Yeah. No, but I swapped to the professional instead. I mean the Winsor Newton professional.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because there are more pigments in those. So
Do you use the solid ones or the squeezy?
yeah, the pans, the solid ones I've been using, but I'm starting to try to test out the tubes
Yeah.
also. Because I mean it's getting quite cheap. It gets cheaper
To get the tubes?
to get the tubes.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
But you just have to have patience with just filling those up and letting it dry, because you can't just
Yeah,
fill it
yeah.
up and just then you have paint in all your
Yeah.
your
Yep.
bag.
So you need to prepare.
Yeah, you need to prepare.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
So I'm never gonna do this.
But I kind of like. I personally love the liquid like watercolor more
Yeah.
because then I can also get the choice to do a bit more textured work. Where you use like you don't use it as a
Chunks of
dry.
paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't use it as just dry watercolor. You can soak it up and soften it up enough
Yeah.
to really just like the stuff you want to bring out or make texture. You can really do it with that like thick painterly
Yeah.
thing as well. I personally like that.
Mm.
I've never tried that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I got some the Russian brand White Knights also.
Don't even know it.
I think
Got
they got
them
it on
Ruskies.
Mattens.
Oh,
I think
really?
they got it on Matten, yeah. But there's quite a lot of pigment in that one, so
Oh,
it's
that's nice.
kind of cool, vibrant. And I've tried some of Daniel Smith also. I think they
Mhm.
got it on there also.
Okay.
I'm finding it that Stockholm has watercolors, they have acrylics, like oil paints, but in the gouache section, there's nothing.
It's so
Okay.
yeah. I actually we went shopping just the other week, sort of like
Mhm.
a day out, going artsy shopping.
Sharping, yes.
And I wanted to get some gouache,
Mhm.
but I couldn't find any.
Yeah, there is
I
the
didn't go
basic-
to Creatima though, but
I did. That's where I bought
Yeah,
mine.
of course.
I bought because I told you that I was using like the cheap ink, like the pigments
Yeah.
that I bought for 40 crowns or something like 6 years ago. And then after like the last week, I went and bought paints and brushes for 1,000 something crowns.
mhm,
And I should have waited for Black Friday because they had 30% off.
of course.
But I don't wait for shit. I hate sales. So I went and bought the Winsor & Newton gouache designer gouache or whatever the fuck they're called. And wow, is there a difference?
Is that like a complete pack?
It
or-
is, I think it's 10 tubes of 14 Oz or so, whatever, milliliters or whatever the fuck it is. Not quite sure.
Mm.
But yeah, wow. I used them on the latest Zelda thing that I'm posting tomorrow. And the colors, like you have to use so little to get so much pigment out of it. Like, because in the beginning, I just used it as my cheap shit, because I just like pour a lot of it.
Yeah.
Now I just like took a little. And my brush, like I couldn't get it to stop painting because the color was lasting forever. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I need smaller chunks of this one.
That's
Yeah.
why you never buy quality.
That's why you never buy quality. Exactly. So yeah, the colors are more vibrant and still like it's gouache. So the quality is like not the quality, but they fade.
Yeah.
So you have to go over it several times to get that vibrant look, unless you're like, I think it'll come in time when I get as confident with painting as I am with actually, you know, like doing the drugs, or the inks. And I think then I will be able to just take bolder decisions faster. Because right now I'm just like, okay, I'll try it like this. Because I don't know how. I'm experimenting. Like sometimes I do a nice rock and sometimes I do a shitty rock. And that annoys me.
Yeah.
And I think like in time I will make bolder decisions that'll make the colors bolder from the get-go. Because I'll just take that color and just like, you know, do the line and
Just
it'll be done. Yeah.
Slap it on.
Sounds super wrong. I just wanted to bring Mike back into it. But I'm not going to.
I wanted to bring Dwayne back into talking about the rock and boulders and bold and okay, so any other materials, or because you mentioned the fold out chair, or like what else would you recommend for somebody that really wants to get into this and do it more, I don't know, professionally, if we can call it that? Like what would you bring out for a day doing some urban sketching?
Actually, I think you usually bring too much, because I mean you really have to carry around your stuff. So this stool, often you just carry it, so I usually don't use it. So no, I don't bring it.
You should make chair pants. So when you sit like in the air, they just fold out and become like this chair.
Yeah, they can't bend less than 90 degrees. So as soon as you sit down, it's like zhook.
Yeah, just legs
That would be
fly
so cool.
out. Leg pants.
Holy shit.
Oh, leg
Yes.
pants? I mean, chair pants.
Leg pants.
Leg pants.
Let's do some face pants too while we're at it.
Join my community, face pants.
Okay, so no chair. But I guess, backpack, obviously. And then,
Backpack. I always got my backpack. I mean, or a bag. I got a side bag also.
How do you bring all your paints and all that stuff? Like, because I think
They're not very big.
if it would be me, I would bring, like, because I feel like my whole watercolor thing is a little bit too big to bring for something like that. I would like to have something smaller to just work easier with. I don't know. Or maybe you don't.
Yeah, no, but I got the small travel
Cabinet, like
cabin.
the little,
the little metal
box.
little metal box.
Yeah.
Because it's the Winsor Newton box. I mean, there's
I have
different
the white
kinds.
Winsor Newton one, I think,
I have
the plastic one.
Yeah, okay, but I got the metal black one, which is
so much better.
No, but which is stupid in the winter when it's cold.
Oh, yeah, shit.
That makes
yeah.
sense. Oh, wow.
That's pretty stupid, but
But you look cool the rest of the year.
Mhm.
And even in the winter, actually.
And frostbite is always cool.
and actually, yeah,
Yes. Cool.
coolest.
Yes, black fingers. Okay, so little metal case with the watercolor. What's your typical size of your sketchbook, by the way?
Usually A5
Yeah?
landscape.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
A5 landscape.
And then you utilize the whole spread.
Yeah, or
Most of the time.
or I leave a three quarters maybe I use. Leave a bit to, then you can write something there.
And the logo.
Well, that's actually something I like about yours. You do, like, when you're writing on them as well, just like little things. Like, it looks so nice, like the whole thing.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's I mean, you can just write a bit of a story of what happened. Then you remember it also.
Yeah.
So it's
It's a
kind of cool.
smart move. For
It's
anybody
really
with
nice.
Alzheimer's, this is a great tool for you. Write it down.
Yeah, I was going to write more in my sketchbook, but now that I've gone all crazy Legend of Zelda in it, I just like, what the fuck should I write about it? It's not an experience for me, you know, drawing them in that sense. But I promised myself that I was going to write in the books as well, just to like loosen up more. Just like draw or write something, you know, and then just draw something beside that thought or whatever it is, like part of a lyric, part of a...
Yeah.
But I just
Yeah, and I
Can't.
Next book.
Next.
Yeah, but I mean, just my writing is just a scribble also. So it's, I mean, so then you get, okay, this ruined it.
But it doesn't, because
It-
for
It
me,
adds to it, I
Yeah.
think.
because for me,
sure.
when I look at it and you've written something, for me it feels like part of the drawing rather than
Yeah.
that you've written on it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I read it as part of the image rather.
Yeah.
So it looks very nice.
Very nice.
Especially when you write Sketchbook heroes on all your images.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like
especially.
every time.
Stalker.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And now you're in the podcast.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I succeeded.
Yes. Stalking pays out.
Goals. Yes. So retirement next. Awesome. Yeah. Do you have any other tools, Elias?
Things?
Anything? Well, you said you went shopping. Anything else that you
bought
got?
No, I just bought like expensive brushes. I think for me, expensive brushes. Like I've never bought a brush that cost me 270 something crowns.
But it's worth it.
It is worth it.
Yeah, it is.
Holy crap! I bought them.
I
They're
have
not-
2 of them, and I've only used them now.
The thing is, these brushes were like, imagine what the metal tip pen would look like. It's like it's just a metal disc basically. These brushes that I bought, like 2 of the big ones, they're just basically that. They're just flat brushes so that I can do the same thing when I'm slapping out the color.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have a big one, a medium one, and a smaller one. So because I'm trying to work my way, because right now when I do the sketch for the painting, I do it with a ballpoint. Because the ink that I use is water soluble, so it just like smears. It worked in the purple sketchbook because it's toned, but on the canvases that I've used or the watercolor paper, it just smears. It becomes watercolor basically.
Yeah.
So I just took a ballpoint. The latest sketch is just ballpoint base that I've just painted over because it really doesn't matter what I base it. I just need to see part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm doing it now, but I want to maybe get away from that as well and just paint the whole thing from scratch.
Nice.
Or you could switch ink.
I know, but the thing is, these pens, they come in capsules, so it's hard to,
Okay.
I don't know if I could
Switch
fill the
ink.
pen.
Yeah, but you can when you
I need to
empty one.
Oh,
then
you mean
can,
then fill
you
them
can
with a
fill
syringe?
them with a syringe.
Do you have a
Because
syringe? Because I don't know where to get those.
Just go out on the street.
Exactly, because in Greece, you could get syringes everywhere. There's a drug addict in every corner.
Just ask
No,
the
but
guy
yeah.
on
Yeah.
your doorstep.
No, but it doesn't have to be a syringe with a needle. I just need, because that would.
Yeah,
it
but
would-
it's easier with a needle. But I mean,
It's
it doesn't have to
definitely
be
easier.
sharp. But
No. But I.
Check your
Yeah.
pharmacy, maybe. I don't know.
actually, I did.
No, it's,
I did
you're not
ask
allowed.
at the pharmacy, and they were looking at me like I was
Yeah, like,
crazy.
are you insane? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, yes, I
Well,
am a
you-
drug addict, but I actually don't want to use it for drugs.
Exactly. This is for my other bad habit.
Just be
Exactly.
honest.
No, but actually, I know someone who had
A drug problem? Oh, I had to.
If you watch out for the HIV, you'll be fine.
Take my needles.
No, but I mean, they could buy things from the place that are delivering things to the hospitals. and
yeah.
so
Oh,
on.
yeah. I mean,
So-
we get a lot of our
Let's give him a
tattoo
shout out.
supplies
No, just kidding.
from places like that too. So I know a shop like that in Söder,
Mhm.
actually. Maybe they have syringes. I don't know. Let's
I
go
don't
do drugs.
Yeah.
No, but
Yep.
I think there are other tools as well. Like you use one of those. What do you call them?
Pipettes.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
exactly. The eyedropper.
Squeezy,
Eye drop.
squeezy thing.
Is it eyedropper?
But I don't
so.
think you will. I think
Oh
it
shoot!
will be
Yeah,
messy.
that's true.
I think it will
that's
be
true.
messy.
That's true. But I could use one of those like Copic refill things and fill it with ink, and then because that would fit in the
hole?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
See, we already solved your problem.
Maybe the ink needs to be thin though, so it doesn't clog in the thing. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah.
add a little
'Cause you
water
need the good stuff.
or something. No.
No, but I'll give it a try because I would really love to have that as a base.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Maybe in a different color though. Maybe like an orange like base or something. Just like
Yeah.
because that color will pop
Yeah.
underneath the thing. It would be very nice.
Cool.
But I will investigate if I can do that because that is very smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
I think I got an extra somewhere.
We're talking syringes here, people. I will Kino will be hooking me up with some syringes.
Yes, the dark age.
Welcome to the Drugs Podcast.
So how do you keep your water, or how do you use that? Because how does that work really? I didn't even know, because you were here sketching at the event, and I didn't actually notice you
water.
using the water or anything. I didn't it didn't register.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't see it.
Actually, I got a little bottle, just a little...
Like a squeezy
little,
bottle?
No, like a little juice bottle. Like
okay. A plastic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and or I got or you just get a cup with water, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So many times I've dipped my brush into the coffee.
Oh yeah. I almost drank my gouache water
I've
as
done
well.
that.
I
Yeah.
just like, oh.
Yes.
My wife's like, "What are you
True
doing?"
artist.
I'm like, wrong mug, because I have them all. Like, I use two cups of water.
Yeah.
One for just like diluting, like cleaning my brushes.
Yeah.
One for using for mixing or just like, and
Very
then the
pro.
coffee cup. Like, yeah, I'm just making shit up. So I
No,
just
that's
wanted more cups.
Yeah.
That was first class in gouache.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
shit!
you
Yeah, I have
need-
no idea.
You will need more than one cup of water, or you need to change it out like all the time.
Often, yeah.
Yeah,
So we
'cause
had
that's-
like 2 or 3. Yeah.
But that's also the problem when you're outside. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't bring everything. So
Mm.
I usually got two of those bottles,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and or my water bottle. I mean, a big water bottle and a cup.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
then you just can pour. I mean, you need water to drink also. So you
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got your
you
big
have-
water bottle
yeah.
and just.
Stay hydrated, people. Yes. Very nice. Good.
Sketchbook Heroes, sponsored
Yes.
by Avion, or whatever the fuck that water brand is. I don't know. Actually, Åhléns has a brand called Muji, like a Japanese sort of
Yeah.
series of stuff, and they sell these like little spray cans.
Yeah.
They're like this tiny.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's what I need.
So-
I've been looking for that.
I use those to activate my dried up inks,
Yeah.
or like my inks, my water gouache colors thingies. So
Bring
those
them
are
to
really nice.
life.
Yeah. But that's what you do. Like you
Yeah.
reactivate the
Good
colors,
life,
just
yeah.
like you just on the ones you want. Because otherwise, you use your brush and you just activate sort of like the surface,
Yeah.
and it takes. And I don't want to like dip my brushes in too much water. I hate painting with too much water. The way that I paint, I just want it to be like dry all the time, basically. Like unless I'm setting the base, but it's really nice to have that little spray bottle because that'll give you just the right amount. I feel like when I do the brush, it's always like, I dip it too far in or just too little.
Yeah.
Well, the spray can just does the, and it
I
just
actually
activates.
learned that this summer. I didn't know
Oh,
how to.
okay, yeah.
So I mean,
Reactivating.
Yeah, but they do sell them like the Muji. I think Muji has like an online shop as well.
Perfect.
Like,
Because that's what I started doing in Australia with texturizing my canvas.
Mhm.
They're so cool. They had them at Kmart. It was like the basic color series for kids, and they were all in those small little spray cans. But it was like a small acrylic spray paint that you got in one of those.
Oh.
That is cool.
So cool. So if you remember, I did like a Jimi Hendrix
Yeah,
layout
I
with
remember
those
those.
colorful
Yeah.
backgrounds. That's with those colors.
Ah.
So you just sprayed those on at random, and then sort of put that in the oven to make it sort of crackle a little bit, and then painted on top of that. But when they stopped selling that paint for some reason, I don't know. It's probably poisonous.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so good. It's poisonous. So like, if you like it or something, it's always dangerous.
Poisonous.
But then, so I had to sort of think up a new way to use it. So I just poured.
Toothbrushes?
No, I used the spray can,
Okay.
but I filled it with just normal black ink and water
okay,
and mixed
yeah.
it. So you get like a gray wash.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, and just add that on. So I would sort of texturize the paper first and draw the basic shapes of the shadows of the face, and then texturize again to sort of add that texture value in the face as well. And I don't know, it just got this next level look, which I've been wanting to get back into, but I haven't found that little spray thing.
Okay, yeah.
So thank you for that.
You
That's
are
awesome.
welcome.
Yes.
And they're super tiny as well, so you can bring them with. That's what
Yeah.
I do. Just
Perfect.
have that,
Nice.
just like
Because now I actually bought a
stay
proper
hydrated.
a proper spray can. Spray color because I want to get that texture.
Yeah, that texture.
So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll buy a
it's
real
nicer
one.
when you can control like what's in it though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like wash as well, is that it's so dry. When it dries like watercolor, you can just paint on top of it with anything, basically.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that. But I haven't mixed mediums yet. I'm being a purist. Right now I'm being a purist. I just set the base with the ballpoint. I don't even like paint details. I just like, this is a tree. This is Link. And then I just paint over everything.
I think that's the way to do it too.
But it is fun, though, because usually I would, like, even in the past, before I went digital, I would draw so much detail. Like, I'd spend so much time on the sketch, which is fine. You should. Like, a great base is a great base. But I would spend, a lot of time
Way
just
too
like,
much time.
just doing the unnecessary stuff. Like, the
Same.
fold of this thing. Like, I don't need that. I'm going to paint over it. I'm not even going to, like, see more than the outline of this.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm just basically doing that. Like, I draw, like, the most necessary guides, and then the rest is just, like, the sketch is so boring, it's not even worth, like, taking a photo of, like, the process, because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
They're basically, like, thin lines, and I'm like, this I need to show because I'm going to, like, pass over, like, a lot of color on top of this, then I might, like, push the pencil up, or the ballpoint a bit harder, just to have
So
it
it's
visible,
there.
But in the end, I will just paint over all of it.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't mixed anything yet. I haven't used like color pencils or anything to do anything because I just feel that I need to learn without the cheats.
Yeah.
Like, they're not cheating, but
But it
for
is
now
a
I
help,
need.
and it is.
It
sort
is
of
a help that makes me not learn the proper way of doing the color
Exactly.
that I want to, like the medium that I want to learn.
Yeah.
And then later, I'll just fucking do the color pencil. But I think I will get more out of, like, instead of making glows with a color pencil, I can learn to paint the glows, because then maybe I'll learn how to underpaint and, coat things in a way that brings, like, more colors like to the, and then later I'll do that plus enhance it with a color
Exactly. That's
pencil
what
and
I was
everything.
thinking. Because, the way you're explaining it, in my head, you're already this complete artist now.
And then you see me painting and it takes forever.
Right?
But it is fun. Like, I'm enjoying all of it. Like, the failures and because I'm doing it, I've never painted this fast.
But just going back to what you were saying with the way you're sketching now, I think a lot of people need to hear that. Because that's something that I keep seeing. And when I get people asking me to critique their work and stuff, I see them being in that trap. And, this could be people that have been drawing for years and years or just starting out. But just falling into the trap of going in with too much detail and, learn where you focus your attention and don't worry too much about the overall sketch in the beginning, like big shapes and then narrow it down. So
Make the
Ilya's
composition,
lead.
make the composition nice.
Then
And,
exactly.
like-
Don't start drawing the eye and make that super realistic and then keep
exactly.
drawing the face. Like that wouldn't work.
And dude, it's,
Well, for some people it does. So I'm not.
but
gonna
I think they
destroy everybody here.
No. But I think for most of us though, like, we need to not focus or not invest too much time in the details. Like, if you can get like a nice base sketch that just says like the character is here, this is what's happening. Like, this is focus area 1, 2, and 3 if you have that many, and then you use that as your sort of guide. That's all you need. And don't be afraid to, because I usually have I have the main paper that I draw on, and then I have my side paper, which is my I do things on my canvas but I also I experiment in both places. So when I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, I'll draw on the side paper. But if I want to try something new that I have a picture in my head and I think that it'll work, I'll take the risk on the canvas, because gouache, you can just paint over it. Just let it dry or just smear it out and just start over. But I think the beauty of it is the decision making that I'm missing in digital work. Like, it's so easy to just...
It's got consequence now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's both frustrating when you're trying to paint the sky, like we talked about,
Yeah.
and you just, it's such a big area of color
Yeah.
that gets uneven.
Mhm.
And if you mess up one part, you can't just paint that part. You'll have to paint the whole
Exactly.
thing once more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you start sort of infringing on the other stuff in your image as well. So there's a risk that you sort of like accidentally add a blue like line or like something inside your mountain that doesn't add, like that nice.
It's not a happy
of,
accident.
It's not a happy accident. You're just like,
just an accident.
and now I need to paint the mountainside again, like, and that's why I'm trying to learn the way of like starting from the far back, painting the sky first,
Yeah.
or painting everything blue. That's what I do usually. Just paint everything blue, and then I just sort of like paint all the big colors, and then on top of that you start painting the finer details, of each sort of or like the foreground, the middle ground, the background.
You should check Bob Ross. Seriously.
No. I used to watch Bob Ross religiously
It's such
on satellite.
Or he's
as a
such
kid.
a fucking, I don't know. It's such a perfect way to learn how to paint.
But I want to go to oils now because I've gotten
Yeah?
to that point. I was like,
Yeah, I was talking
because of
about
the
that yesterday,
vibrancy,
actually.
the vibrancy in the colors and everything that I'm missing in gouache.
Yeah.
Because right now, my work is like, they're fine in real life, but then when I take a photo of them, they don't look like there's something that gets lost. You can still push it up a bit to match it, but I would like them to look more vibrant. Like, I don't know, there's something too washed out. And I don't know if it's digital art that has ruined me because you
Probably.
could just like add and everything just gets super rich. But I am curious on oils, but then again, the smell, the like opening.
I love
like,
the
I don't
smell.
have windows and stuff I can open like that, and it's super fucking cold.
And
I
it
don't
takes
know.
time to dry.
Yeah.
That is the part I hate the most.
I found one that I had started a couple of years back yesterday. That's why I was like, oh, oils.
yeah.
So maybe I'll try to get into it again because it's, I don't know. I liked it when I saw it. It's just basic shapes pretty much. And then I had to wait to let it dry. And then 2.5 years later, I'm finding it again.
Also, before we finish tools, Kina, do you have something else that isn't urban sketching that you are pursuing on the side that maybe you are like, oh, I suck at this. I'm never going to show anyone, but I will keep working on it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's quite a lot of work with the comic, being an editor. So this, my free time is mostly the urban sketching thing. So yeah, and that sounded boring.
No, it isn't. It really isn't. But
We understand.
But how long does it take you to draw, like in general, like what is your, like how much time do you invest? I would say that, because that's a choice, you know what I mean? Like I could paint something for 5 hours. I could also draw it in 1.
Yeah.
But the quality or, like sometimes less time will make it better and sometimes more time will make it better. Like that you take the time to, maybe you don't paint for 5 hours, but you take breaks and you let it sort of sink in and you make decisions. You know what I mean? How long do you spend on your pieces?
I mean, it depends on if I'm working on an A4 or an A5. I mean,
let's say the A5 that you usually
the A5,
paint in.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it depends on how much detail or what kind of area, what kind of picture it is. I mean, but maybe an hour, 2 hours, maybe 1 hour just sketching and maybe 1 hour coloring it. And sometimes maybe touching up with some shadows and highlights and so on after that.
Do you enjoy both equally? Or do you just sometimes like, I just want to paint or I just want to do inks, like do you have that preference? Because sometimes I just want to paint. Like I really don't want any of the other stuff, but I love both. I just want to paint.
Because the sketching could be like a very tedious process.
Sometimes,
when you're just eager to start.
Or you don't know what to
coloring.
draw, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you
I
don't
have
know.
no ideas, but I just want to paint. Like I
Yeah.
just want to slap colors around, but I don't want to make it abstract.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to paint something,
Yeah.
that looks like something.
But sometimes I think I need both because well, I suppose it's because I'm not as good as a just watercolor artist. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I think it looks unfinished, something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to have outlines.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's still something. I feel I miss something without some lines. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's wrap this part up and move on to the retro. This is how we do it. Now you're losing the magic. We're always back.
Yes.
We never leave.
This is like when you tell a kid there is no Santa, you know?
Exactly what it's like. Like,
Cina's
what do you
here,
guys
like,
do when
"No,
you're
what?
before you come back?
Where's
what do you
the
do?"
music?
Like,
Yeah, where's the music? I want to hear the music.
yeah, exactly. Where's it?
Exactly. I'm sitting here with a keyboard. Ilias is singing the intro every single time.
Yeah, exactly. In real life,
Yeah.
no. In reality, it's like just like disappointing. Nothing happens. Nothing really happens.
Exactly.
So we are on the retro segment of
Today's
Sketchbook
episode.
Heroes. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have Cina here. So we're gonna ask you, what influenced you as a kid? Like, what did you watch, see, read that made you want to do what you're doing today? You know, like,
What sparked?
or like, gave you that
Yeah.
spark,
Sparked
something
the
that
art.
The spark.
spark in the back.
The spark.
A lot of Swedish jokes.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I read comic books when I was a kid. I mean,
Specifics, please.
Yes.
specifics.
Let's get nerdy.
Nerdy.
This is when...
Lucky Luke
Yeah.
and no, just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, Bamse.
Mm-hmm.
Spirou.
Oh, those are actually
Spirou.
very good.
Tintin.
Nice.
Well, all the Belgian, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Jackery. Yeah, that was, I mean, everything you could get your hands on. And later, I just took a lot of things from my cousins, my little older cousins. So I just got all of their comic magazines, like Agent X9 that I'm working with now.
Yeah.
That we're working with.
What is? Are they called that in English as well? Like Agent X9?
Agent X9, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Modesty Blaze.
Modesty Blaze.
I remember I made... So, the first tattoo shop I worked in Australia, there was this old man getting tattooed, and his wife would always come along. And to help him not be super bored, he brought his comics, and that was Modesty Blaze.
Yeah, okay.
He was the biggest Modesty Blaze fan ever.
Yeah.
And that was right after I got the job for
Oh, shit,
starting
really?
drawing. And I'd done the first, so I sort of showed him a sneak peek of the new cover. And he was like, for him, it was like meeting a famous person. He got so like, oh my God. So this is, and he started showing me like his comic books. And this
Wow.
guy is like almost 80 years old, like proper old guy.
Damn.
And it was
That's
like his
cool.
world,
Oh,
and
that's making you 40.
he became like this, 10-year-old boy again, and like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, it's just like the magic of comic books,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say that.
No, but that is,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah, but
that
that
is
is
such
freaking
cool.
a it's such a
awesome.
cool thing. And on the other side of the world, it's just
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter where you go. Comics is just this universal language
for nerds.
for nerds.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something that's super cool about you doing covers for Modesty Blaze, because I remember as a kid when my dad brought those, like I would draw them all the time,
Yeah.
because they looked so like awesome.
Yeah.
And I would just sit there and just like, not trace, but like use them as reference for like,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
basically just like, oh, I like this, and then you draw that, and you just like turn the pages and just drew everything that you enjoyed
Mm.
from
Yeah.
the comic or inspired you.
I actually did trace a lot of things when I was little. I mean, just like copying pages and just sitting tracing. That's just to.
I don't know
I don't
when I
think you
stopped. I don't know when I stopped, but tracing is really good for
Yeah.
learning, because I think tracing is something that taught me like, oh shit, shoulders aren't square. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just like, oh,
Exactly.
You just
Yeah.
like get like the like your cogs start like.
And
You're starting to understand.
Yeah, you start
tricks,
connecting
yeah.
things, and exactly. It gets a really bad rep. Like
Oh, yeah,
everybody thinks tracing is the worst thing ever.
Mhm.
But I mean, just look at Drew Struzan, who's like the biggest poster artist of our generation,
Mhm.
or even the previous one. And
All generations.
yeah, like he is the poster artist. He traces, like that's what he does. Watch the.
But his compositions are great, though.
Exactly.
That's why he does it
That's why
as well.
they are so
It's
good.
sort of like just move. Like it's like when you use the lasso tool to move things in Photoshop. You know, he basically
Exactly.
does that with tracing.
Exactly.
Because we all know that he can paint, and
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
he just says
still-
that himself.
He
as well.
shows it. I mean, he's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
tracing the colors; like he's actually painting the thing. But to get all the proportions and everything right, and
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you have that tight of a deadline, you know, he invented his way of working, and it works perfectly for him. And that's why his posters are fucking epic.
Amazing.
Because
yeah.
he doesn't have to focus in on getting the details right as much as the next guy. Because
Yeah.
if I did it, you know, I would never trace because in my head it's that stigma, you know, you don't trace. So
Mhm.
it would take me 50 times longer to do the painting
Yeah.
Yeah,
than
when
it would him
comes
to get that same quality, you know.
Yeah.
So definitely, like, don't be afraid to trace stuff.
And
do
I
it.
think tracing stuff that you have a hard time grasping. Sometimes it's really hard to break. Like for some of us starting out, it's hard to break down complex shapes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then sometimes just tracing something like a complicated perspective of a person, you know, like reaching towards the camera or the viewer, that might be super tricky. But when you
Exactly.
trace it, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it wasn't that friggin' hard. I just need to think like this. But it's just it's a simple tool. You shouldn't use it all the time.
And
'Cause
never
I
take credit for something you've traced.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
No,
you-
obviously,
yeah.
but use it.
But
Like
use
a
it as a
training
tool.
tool.
a
Yeah.
training tool.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's very underrated as a learning tool.
Yeah.
I think tracing is something that I did with like most of the Disney characters and stuff that set the base for my drawing understanding.
Yeah.
Because when we were kids, I think we weren't great, but we weren't.
What are you talking about?
No, but I'm just saying that we were better than the other kids because somewhere along the way, we started realizing this thing about like shapes or, you know, like, oh, shoulders aren't square. Oh, wait, eyes aren't round balls. Oh, look at this. The ears are like at the height of the eye. You know, like small things. You connect one after the other.
Yeah.
And eventually your work starts getting better
Yeah.
and you're leaving your classmates behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's the cool thing about tracing. You're starting to sort of like get answers you wouldn't have gotten as fast
Yeah.
if you just, you know,
Yeah.
drew from imagination or whatever.
Yeah. So comic books was the way into the art world. So what was did you have an idea of wanting to do something with comics when you were a kid? Or like, did you start drawing your own like we did? Or where did you go from the comics if we go chronologically?
Chronologically, well, I think I also tried, but I could never. I mean, make a person look the same.
Twice. Yeah,
Twice.
or 3 times.
So it was like, okay, and then what am I gonna tell? What kind of story?
Exactly.
What? No, so actually, I was kind of a lot into movies.
Yeah.
I mean, cartoons also. I loved cartoons. It's
Yeah,
like-
any specific?
Exactly. Name
Cartoon.
drop.
Name drop.
Let's
Name
do
drop
this.
the specifics, please.
Well, they didn't show that many cartoons
Yeah,
in
yeah.
TV when we were little, so it was like Donald Duck and Tom and
Tom
Jerry.
and Jerry, yeah.
so
Love
on.
Tom and Jerry.
I
Yeah.
still do. I don't like the newer ones.
No, I hate the new ones,
Yeah.
but the old ones, they have
They
like a
still hold up.
timing and even my kids enjoy the old ones
Like-
because we tried watching the new ones.
Yeah, there's something about the timing and that slapstick humor. It's
Yeah,
just like
the violence
perfect.
I think
It's
was
so
what.
good.
Yeah.
And that's something. So I just recently started watching this new show on Netflix, the movies that made us. So it's just deep diving into movies, and I watched the one about Home Alone, and actually the editor watched Looney Tunes and based the timing off of how he would set up
Sure.
when somebody gets smacked in the face and what happens after and all
Yeah.
of that,
Cool.
based off of Looney Tunes and the cartoons because they have the timing down. So that's why
To
the
a
timing
science, yeah.
works like so well in Home Alone. Like, well, to this day, it's one of the movies that I love the most.
I still
and
watch it
it's
every
so
Christmas.
violent and everything hurts, but you just laugh anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think that's very nice. Like, that's why I let my kids watch movies that have violence in them.
Because you want them to grow up and
Because I
become
want them to become
sociopaths and kill
sociopaths.
everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. School shootings are so much fun.
Cocaine. drugs. Yes.
Oh my god. Well, it is very dark in here, so why not just like
Derail.
go with the flow?
We are always dark.
But I kind of, when you can manage to make the violence like it
Funny.
feels no, but I just know there's a balance where you make it feel sort of cartoonish like they did there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I want my kids, because I tell them you can curse, you can say the curse words, you can do all these things, but don't say them to people when you're angry.
Say
Like
them
we can
behind
talk
their
about,
back.
because there
Yeah.
were someone like, oh, I can't say shit, because I was like, you can say shit, I don't care. You just can't say shit when you're being negative, like when you are angry, or you can't say stupid if you're angry, but you can say it whenever else you want to say it. And it's the same thing with like, they want to say dick, they want like, like kids, they want to say all those like things that, and at school they can't, but at home I'm just like, I'm never going to scream at you for saying these things.
Because you
Just-
do.
Exactly.
No, but I think that's where
How
I
did
base
they learn these words?
No, but oh, dude, kids say the craziest shit, and I just tell them you can't call me that if you're angry at me. You just like you can use the word, because I'm never gonna be angry. They're just words. There's nothing in them that is dangerous. And the same thing, I have that same approach with movies. Like the movies that aren't, like super violent with blood and, like eyes flying out and like crazy
Yeah.
stuff. But they'll still, I still watch stuff that has violence in it that I can explain to them.
Exactly.
Because I want
yeah.
them to, because we watch a lot of behind the scenes.
Good.
It was like, this is how they make Jurassic Park. Like, oh, I love that myself. Like, I'm so fucking excited when they make like because I'm trying to explain that the raptors are men in suits.
Exactly.
And it's foam and everything, and we watch it. And
It's
they're like, oh
impossible
my
to
God.
see.
Yeah, it is impossible to
well
see.
made.
But then you see
Yeah.
behind the scenes, and it's like
It's
this
the guy,
big
yeah.
foam velociraptor with Converse shoes, and it's so good. And we watched like Rick Baker making like
Yeah.
like werewolves and stuff, and how he makes the makeup and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And it's so cool, and they enjoy it, and I enjoy it, and you sort of go behind the veil a bit, because I think that is important to show them, like both sides of the.
Yeah.
Because my kids, they're a bit confused, or my son is, because he's 5, and when we watch movies like the Leica movies, because they're stop motion, but you don't see that it's stop motion. And then you watch behind the scenes, and they have these like advanced rigs, and the characters are on the rigs,
and
they
they're
can.
fucking huge.
Yeah, they're big rigs, and they build the cities, and I'm just trying to show them like how they're making them. And I was like, everything they're doing, someone is going there, moving the character, and
Yeah.
they take a snap, and then they like keep just moving. Everything needs to be
Yeah.
done, and it takes forever to make these movies.
Yeah, cool.
And we always, so I'm very liberal in what we're watching. Like, I don't care if it's violent, as long as it's not, like we wouldn't want Django with my kids. That feels like a bit hard to explain. But I will watch most things with them that I can, because I don't know, I feel that if the more taboo you put on your kids, the worse it gets with all this stuff. So I think it's really important to just like keep it fun and interesting, and then you make them understand, so they ask questions about the stuff, which is magical. It's super cool, because we watched everything as kids. Like I watched so many crazy things, like horror movies and everything, way too young.
Yeah, me too.
And
So that's what we want to find out. What did you watch? So let's go back to that question
Yeah.
that you were about to answer.
Yeah.
before
Okay. What
Yes.
did I?
So, so you said you're really into movies. What?
Yeah.
So we were talking cartoons.
Cartoons, yeah. Well, I suppose it was,
Apart from Tom and Jerry,
Yeah.
like
Tom
Apart-
Jerry,
yeah.
Donald Duck, yeah.
but a lot of Disney movies actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think I was watching most of it. And I mean, I'm a bit older than you are,
Yeah.
but
Just a bit.
just a bit.
Not mentally.
No.
Is that a compliment? Or
Yes,
an insult?
yes,
I don't know.
definitely is.
I don't know what that means.
We're all equals. Geeks.
Yay. No, but actually, one of my dreams were become coloring a Disney movie.
Oh, really?
Aw, that is so
But
cute.
then it went digital.
Yeah, of
But
course.
you still have to color it. But
Yeah.
And one of my dreams were also to work with Bamse.
Oh, yeah.
This Swedish comic book. And when I actually got to color jigsaw puzzles, it was like, okay, I got to color.
I've done the
You're
coloring
like, you're
thing,
ticking the box. Yes, check.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
So that was cool.
Did you have like one movie in particular that was your obsession when it comes to Disney and stuff, like that you watched maybe every day for, I don't know, a long ass period of time?
I don't
Anything that
remember,
comes to
actually.
mind? No.
I was watching everything. So
Of course.
yeah, of course,
Of course.
of course. And I'm mixing things up with watching things with my kids also. So, so it's like, okay, what did I watch? I don't know.
No,
Are
but
are your kids creative in any way? Do they draw or paint or
They do cosplay.
or
That's what I've heard. Or you make them cosplays.
you make them.
Or at least masquerade.
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
exactly. No, but yeah, they can draw, both of them. Yeah, they can. Yeah.
But it's
But
not
they're
something they
not-
do.
They're not
Yeah.
something they do.
They're not like crazy like us.
No,
Us three.
Well, you never know.
you never know.
You never know.
Awesome. All right. So, any later obsessions? What is your inspiration nowadays? Like, is it still the typical Disney type movies, or have you found that you're like? I'm thinking more in terms of what fuels your inspiration. Like, is it
Yeah.
documentaries, or do you have anything that's your fuel?
I think documentaries actually. Yeah,
Mhm.
seeing this behind the scenes, how they did it and so on. That's cool. And I think I got to appreciate the craft and not being perfect. I mean, I like this when it's a bit off.
Yeah.
Because earlier it was like, oh no, but it's not perfect. But
What
that's-
is perfect?
But yeah, exactly. And then now I really realize that. I mean, that's what make it come alive.
Exactly.
So it really don't be perfect. That's
Yeah.
the best.
You
But
heard
that
it
takes
first.
some, but that takes time to learn.
Yeah, it does.
Because I was, like we've talked about, super, like I was
Anal.
holding my back. Yeah, exactly. Holding my back. Yeah, that's goddamn it, holding me back. Holding myself back because I was super anal about my work. Like, it had to be super good
Yeah.
or not at all.
Yeah.
And that is so dumb. Rather just draw more and uglier rather than just a few things that are within parentheses perfect, because you're going to hate it a week later. So why not just fucking hate it right now and move on? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to hate everything you've done later.
Yeah.
Because it's not, you're going to get a new reference, like you're going to raise the bar for your work.
Every
and
single
you're going to
time.
hate the old stuff. So why obsess about it being perfect now?
Yeah. And I mean, when you're looking at comic originals, I mean, old originals, that's when you realize, they've been cutting things off, pasting
Or whiteout, you know, when they have like the little whiteouts, and you're like,
Exactly.
oh shit, this is tons of whiteout.
But you don't see it in the.
In
I mean,
the-
you don't
yeah.
see
In the
it in the
finished
print,
one.
in the
No.
finished product.
No.
So that is so stress relieving to just see that. Okay,
They go through the
They
same.
go through the same process.
Yeah.
And I was actually at the this comic festival in France this January, and there were these huge
It's
Why
okay.
are you angry?
Why are you punching people?
punching the microphone here.
Son of a bitch. There were these people.
French people.
Yeah. Didn't understand a thing. No, but there were this exhibition with this huge originals from, and that was awesome. And you just saw this.
You
and
see the work that goes into it.
You see the work,
Yeah.
and you see that the lines aren't black all everywhere. I mean, it does fade out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's not black.
Yeah, but that's what makes it that particular thing into more of an artwork than the actual comic book itself, because the comic is a reproduction of this, and it just
said work.
it's just keeps spitting these magazines out, whereas that thing is a physical piece of paper that is just one of a kind, and it has been cut up and glued and all of this stuff. Like there's so much time and sweat and probably a lot of tears that goes into all.
Also,
that
the
stuff.
thing about the blacks, the blacks. Sorry,
The blacks.
but when you're painting with black, depending on the pigment or ink that you use, you can get like stripes and stuff.
Yeah.
And when you see the originals, you can see that in their work as well. You know, like that the
Yeah.
black isn't all going from left to right or something. They've just done it all over just to get the black in.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, when I'm done, it's going to go into a computer and it's all just going to disappear. You're just going to, like pull up the contrast, you know?
Yeah.
The whites will be whiter, the blacks will be blacker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically solved. Like,
Yeah.
the original doesn't have to be perfect, really. Like, so I think it creates freedom.
And like
Yeah.
Cina said, it shouldn't
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just...
It's soul and spirit.
Mhm.
So that's why I chose to do. I've done all but 2 of the covers. I've done them for reals,
Yeah.
like on paper, because I want that as well. And then obviously I tweak it a bit in Photoshop and stuff.
Mhm.
But it sort of feels weird doing them pure digitally now, because I needed to save time, and I did one and then the other one just out of laziness, because they still turned out okay. But it just feels wrong. I still want pieces of paper and the imperfect stuff when I
Yeah.
do anything really.
So you mean that your digital work is just pure 100% perfection?
Not at all. But I think the total opposite of that almost.
No,
like
I
it
feel
does.
like
It
so.
doesn't have the same soul or spirit or
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. Also, it's because one day in the future I'm hoping to become super famous, and when people remember me for my awesome Modesty Blaze covers, I have originals that I can sell for billions and billions and billions of dollars. Yes.
Like just like the other originals, right?
Exactly. I'm like actually thinking where I have those originals right now.
You just find them
Where-
like folded them and put them underneath a wobbly table. It's
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
Here's one. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
parts of one.
All right. So documentaries as a form of inspiration. Anything else that
Yeah.
really fuels?
Well, yeah, just I mean, different. I'm just trying different kind of styles. Also, I mean, looking at what other people do. But I mean, I don't have to pursue it, but you can just pick up something to just maybe that could work.
And I think that's always something you should do. Like that is why we constantly want to see people work as well. And also, well, for me at least, it's seeing people work fuels me. Like that's why I love. I don't know if you've seen the show. What's it called now? It's like it's a glass blowing show on Netflix. They create like glass work of art.
I've seen the
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
screenshot, but I
It's
haven't
the same
watched
layout or setup as all the other sort of competition shows.
it. Okay.
So it's like an elimination of a person each show, blah, blah, blah. But it's so awesome to see them work with glass and how much effort is put into it. I don't know anything about, glass blowing or working with glass at all, but I'm so into it. And as soon as I've seen an episode, I want to create. I need to create. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's beautiful. I love seeing
But
all
isn't that
stuff.
what we talked about? Like, it doesn't matter where you get the energy or inspiration. just use it like
Yeah.
in your own art,
Exactly.
no matter if
Yeah,
you do
exactly.
whatever. You know, like I go to the movies and
Yeah.
then I just like, oh my
Holy
god, I'm so
fuck.
inspired,
Yeah.
and then I go home and draw, which is nothing like the movie I just saw.
No.
No, but you
But
still
it's
draw.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
just that energy that fills me up. And if the movie's really good, like when we watched Mad Max,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
That's going to
the-
stand out in
yeah.
history as the turning point for me, I think, with my art.
Yeah,
It just
it was so-
inspired me so much, or us.
Yeah.
Because
Like
we
you
came
actually
out of
did
it.
something with it. I just drew like a weird car, and I was like, "This is not my thing."
Well, I started with that, and then I had that drive when I came home, no pun intended, to do something like a proper tribute to this movie because it was so goddamn awesome. I just needed to do something, and yeah, here I am doing the same fucking thing. I don't know how many years later now. Yeah. Same thing with The Mandalorian when I saw the first episode.
Oh,
It was
that
just
was-
like a punch in the nuts. You go and fucking draw a Mandalorian now. You have to. Like, the show is too good. It needs...
Tribute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Create
exactly what it
tribute.
is.
Robert, create tribute.
Yes, yes. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that whole process. Sorry, tangent. I love art.
No, but something that drives me, I mean, I think it's a bit of competition that you've been discussing also.
Yes.
We were doing like Inktober, I think it was last year, or no, one more year, but yeah, behind
2
it.
years ago.
And then we were trying to make these words in a theme. So
Okay. Yeah.
so the first year it was like, okay, why not Star Wars?
Oh.
So and then we were
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, I remember that.
three people challenging each other on this, because then since we were doing the same word and then we were trying to, okay, what is this person going to sketch? I cannot do
Yeah,
the same
the
thing, and
same
I have to do it better. No, but that was really fun.
But that's like a deadline as well. Like you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the pressure. You have to fire up your
that
butt.
was intense.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the year after it was Game of Thrones, and that was
Cool.
Oh shit.
that was awesome. And I mean,
Did you finish the whole month?
yeah, I did, but not. I mean, I did do some more days,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's never bad.
but that was. I was exhausted after that.
So take us through that process then. What would let's just do one of those days. What would you do? So what would be the word and how would you work with it?
Yeah, maybe it didn't really have to be exactly that word, but it could be a meaning,
An interpretation,
yeah,
yeah.
of it. I mean, in a scene or something like that. That could be, yeah. If it was like, I don't know, I don't remember the words now, but
Shame.
fall, obviously.
Did you have shame?
Yeah.
Did you have shame?
Well, I didn't have shame. But one of my competitors did a really pretty nice sketch of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, we should do more of those sort of challenges, I think.
Like privately or on the podcast? What are we talking?
Both.
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 You don't think we have enough to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool, bro. Cool. Let's. I'm just
I
kidding.
never think we do enough, but I know we do way
but
more than we actually have time to do.
Yeah. But I have the same feeling.
It's
like
the
it
drive.
feels like I'm not doing enough, but that's also the trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one day we're going to have a bit more time to do something more with this awesome podcast and the group of people that we have with us. So why not start, throwing ideas out there and just having them
Yeah.
sort of dangling in front of you, like a set of sweaty balls that you don't want to touch.
What?
Yeah.
I don't get that reference.
So that's called improv.
Yes, and that's why it's called
Stay
improv.
creative. Sweaty balls.
So cool stuff, bro.
So before we wrap up, do you have any
Rap songs that you love?
retro recommendations, maybe?
Retro recommendation.
Yeah. So you mentioned the animated Swedish, or is it Swedish?
Yeah, no, I think it's
Polish. Just
I think it's British, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it's called Gnomes. Maybe.
Gnomes.
That sounds
I
familiar, though.
I mean, it's about little gnomes and trolls and a wedding.
But in a
And,
wedding? That's the
yeah.
thing I don't get.
Is it the?
But it's a show, right?
No,
Or was it a movie?
It's a
It's a
movie.
movie.
I don't know. What? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, fuck. I don't.
And the trolls kidnap. They plan to kidnap the bride.
Yeah.
And to destroy they want to eat the gnomes.
God damn it. Yeah, I don't remember this.
I'm
The
trying
stupid
to.
trolls, and
1980. That's when it came out.
that is so good.
Do you
I
have
love
an
it.
image, Elise? Like, I just want to see what it looks like.
No, but the thing is, yeah, it's this one. Yeah, I know which one this is. It's this one, right?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize
It's fun.
this. Yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's really flat, and
Gnomes.
they're moving
from 1980.
very. I mean,
Yeah, it's super choppy.
Yeah,
like the
super
animation.
choppy.
Yeah,
but it's sweet and it's hilarious.
yeah, I remember.
In Swedish, it's trolltyg I tomteskogen.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible name
Yes.
for anything.
Yeah.
But it kind of works, I guess. It has that like classic old.
So ugly.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gnomes were hyped in the 80s.
So you got any last words to the listeners out there? Since you're not one of them right now, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yes,
like
you
do
can.
drugs, buy a pencil that's super expensive, and
Keep listening.
there you go.
Yeah.
The only right thing.
No,
to
but
say.
just keep sketching and try not to struggle. Try to have fun.
Mhm.
Good words from a good woman. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any last stupid words you want to say before you
Stupid words.
We always
Stupid
try
words.
to end on stupid.
Yeah, she just did.
Ba-dum, bum, psh. I didn't hear it
Yes.
over my own laughter.
Very good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good
Mhm.
episode. Thank
Mhm.
you so much for coming and
Yep.
doing this with us. I know it was probably terrifying and very horrifying for you. And we scarred you mentally for life. But
Yeah, but
At
not as
least-
much as Mike the Dyke. So
yes. Yes.
Well, thank you
exactly.
for inspiration. I mean, it's been fun listening to all of the shows. So I mean, I laugh every time.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's all we need to know.
So tell us, say no
Please.
more.
Yes, please.
Say no more. Just end it there.
No mas.
No,
Awesome.
but seriously, thank you for
Thank you.
joining our events, for being an awesome friend, and for
doing all of the work you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Huge inspiration for
Yeah,
us.
love your work.
Yes.
Thank you.
So check it out. Okay, that's it,
Yeah.
folks. Stay tuned for next
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
Do your homework. Watch the Monster Squad.
because we were supposed to do it for this episode.
I did.
But
I
someone
fucking saw
here
it.
didn't. Ugh.
But a little
No,
heads up, I wasn't able to find it on YouTube or pretty much any of the streaming sites that I have. So yeah, try finding it online somewhere.
Yeah.
Try
There-
not to be too illegal.
No, just be all the illegal.
Yeah.
And find it.
Find
Also, try to avoid porn, because that's what I got when I was trying to watch Cooler. It was just like pop-ups. I was like, oh shit, this is a terrible site to stream from.
Fantastic.
Ah! So yeah,
So yeah,
watch out for the porn.
No porn, just monsters. Go for it.
Ad blocker is your
Boom.
friend.
Not sponsored. All right, folks. I'm going to bed. See you guys next week, and thank you again, Cina. Cina Tornqvist. Thank you so much.
Thank
If
you.
you like
Bye, guys.
Selena, Karina.
Woo!
We're
never
getting
known
ready
in the
to
rain.
And we can't top that.
We're out.